You are now entering Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast hosted by a Spanish soccer mom, a 30-year-old silver-haired fox going on 60, and finally, a 200-pound bowl of spaghetti with chimichanga arms.
The champions, we are the champions.
Boys, we are officially back for another year.
Another year. What year is this?
Is this year 4?
Year
3, 4? Sam?
I don't know, man. 2019 is not my year.
Past 2.
You know, like everyone starts the year and they're like, this is my year. I woke up Jan 1. It's like, nope, not this one.
Not doing it again.
The funny thing is, let's just do a quick intro. First intro of the year.
Yep.
This is Maximum Driftcast. So
welcome to Maximum Driftcast.
Welcome to El Maximum Driftcast. And guess what? We have a new host. He's sitting right there next to Sam in the same room.
Wow.
Oh, hi.
Ryan,
What's going on?
Thanks for hosting the show for the rest of the year, Ryan. Litteral. It's going to be
We
sweet.
appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
This
My
is
pleasure.
we just randomly asked Ryan because we haven't talked to him in a little while, and I want to hear all about his 2018. I want to hear about what's coming up for 2019, but also of note, he was our first guest in 2018 as well. So this is kind of I guess it's the thing. We kick off the year with the little guy.
Who says you can't have two first times?
2 first times. You never forget your second first time. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paco likes that.
But you know what?
There's some sort of innuendo there. Paco's down.
And that's funny because quite a coincidence. Corey, you got something on the mail.
Oh, no, actually, you know what? I was enjoying some delicious snacks today here at Paco. Which one do you want?
I'm going to take the Migos.
Okay, what is that called?
Oh, you got some wrap snacks
yeah,
over there?
Yeah, we ended up getting some wrap snacks, so we know we're going to have Ryan on. So we got, let's see here. We have the little boozies, Louis has in a heat, which are delicious.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite right there.
Okay, cool. I'm going to keep those. Paco, what do you got?
I got the white cheddar with a dab of ranch.
Good stuff.
Yeah, you got to do a little dab of ranch if you're going to have a little wrap snacks.
So we're going to enjoy some wrap snacks. And
but
it's going to sound really good in the mics, just crunching on chips.
Actually, no, Sam, we have them soaking in water right now, so they're going to soften up as a soup.
Drink it from a straw.
Did you guys pick those up locally, or did Greg sponsor you?
Greg gave us a full ride this month, so Greg is sponsoring us a full month of wrap snacks and T-shirts.
Nice.
Is it true that Koru Works sends out all their merch with wrap snacks, or is Paco just a special boy?
No, that's with every purchase. You get a quality wrap snack with your purchase.
And this is Koru Works, who work with Ryan Litteral and our good buddy Greg Buchel. Is that how we say it?
Buchel?
It's Bucel.
I'm going to call him Buchel.
Babyface Bucel.
Little Craig. Little Greggy.
Greg
Hey.
And,
I thought Greg was that
boys.
famous singer with Greg Buccelli.
Yeah, the blind one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The piano player. So we're going to enjoy some sweet wrap snacks. As obviously we have the Koru Works.
Oh, hello.
Uh-oh.
Ryan's about ready.
All right, well,
Ryan,
we're
what is
busy.
it?
So, show's interrupted. We're just
goodness.
going to wait.
Oh goodness. This is my new friend.
A violent dog.
Oh, no.
Yes. I'm so violent. Everything like, oh my gosh.
Extra.
gosh.
Professional drifter mauled on live podcast.
Did you get a Weimaraner?
Thanks, babe. I did.
Nice.
What's his
Yeah,
or her name?
she's-
I don't want to assume your dog's gender. But
Her name is Mazzy.
Masi.
Yeah, she's a sweetie.
Nice.
She's a doll.
We had a
love her.
Weimaraner when I was
Thank
a
you.
kid.
And then Ryan, for the audio-only listeners, he is holding an actual doll that's a dog, and he's pretending like it's a real dog. It's very uncomfortable for us, but we're making do.
Big and
It's a real boy. Real
You
girl.
can just talk to Mazzy and I'll voice over. You just ask her all the questions that you want.
All right,
Okay, you
Mazzy.
gotta go. You gotta go home. You gotta go.
All right. Bye, Massey.
It's a good-looking pup.
She is adorable. She is adorable. Thank you, babe.
All right.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, sorry, you were talking. Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
So, Brian,
Yeah.
let's get down. Let's get down.
Let's do it.
Get
Let's do it.
dirty, clean up, get dirty
Fire,
again.
fire away.
Wow. Terrible timing.
No, 2019 is different. I'm not going to ask who you think you are. I'm not going to ask
Who gave you the right.
We're going to be straight facts, straight news the whole time. 2018. Why didn't you do better?
Why didn't I what? You mumbled. What was
Do
that?
better. No,
Just slow down. You don't have to talk so fast. Just
God.
speak clear and concise. All right.
Trigger,
That's all you need
know?
to do.
Fucking trigger.
Yep.
2018, man. How was your season?
Up and down. It was
Tell me
up and
about
down.
So
I mean, it was good. I mean, it was just a huge learning. It was a learning experience for everybody involved. You know, it was a new team, new car, and we were doing Pro 1 and Pro 2. We only had budget big enough to do the 4 events, so we tried to maximize and utilize our time on track with the vehicle and trying to procure that and making that as successful as we can. But, you know, it was... it always seemed to be one thing or another. It wasn't necessarily lack of preparation, lack of skill. It's just, you know, sometimes things just don't come together. But we did have a lot of luck in Texas, where we were able to get up to top 8 in Pro 1. So that was a huge highlight for everybody. It was a huge confidence booster, and it was a good time. It was a good time.
And are you the only driver that elected to try to do both?
I think that Kevin Lawrence tried to do both at 2 rounds, but then I think he pulled out. So I do believe that I was the only one that did
always pull out.
That did that. No.
See, I go on the other end of the spectrum. I never pull out, and you know when I
never
enter
surrender?
a corner. When I enter a corner, you know, I just always make sure to just dive in and then crash. We're talking about drifting, right?
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah. Never lift.
So what was
Never
some?
pull out, never lift.
You
That's
know-
what Frederick Oswald used to have in his car, right? That was his saying: never lift, or excuse me, never pull out.
I thought it said never pull out, never surrender. Is what I thought it said.
Yeah, it did.
Could have been. Oh, see, that's what it was. Cool.
You were right. That was right. So, you were campaigning. Were you in the S14 all year, or were you at the Z? I forget.
So I had the Z for professional competition, and then I used the S14 for like lifestyle demonstration, promotional events, and like multimedia projects. So like 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. One's like dedicated completely to just shredding, you know, battle, head-to-head battle, and then the other one's just for just putting on a show, having some fun.
And that was both those cars are campaigned by the Koru Works bros.
So the Z is campaigned by Koru Works. They own that car and own and operate that car, and then I maintain and operate the S14.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We went down to Koru Works with Snap-on, did a great garage app, and Ryan was great, except he kept on talking shit to me the whole time, on and off camera, which was uncomfortable. But we made it through.
You liked it.
Yeah, it was all right.
Don't lie. You liked it.
I'm like
You had a good
glutton for
time.
punishment. And what's your? Are you going to be driving the 2019 the Z only in 2019? Is it the plan?
I will be driving both cars again. I'm just doing more of what I did in 2018 for 2019. So I have more events that are scheduled for the S14, and we're doing a full season of Pro 1 with the Z.
Full season, baby.
Full season, all the way in, baby.
How many events did you actually make 2018 in the Z?
We did 5. So Jersey was close enough, and it was within our budget. So we did attend New Jersey. We qualified for top 32 competition, but then we lost an engine during practice of top 32. So that was a no-show for us.
That's always the best time to break.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%. And it was literally like 30 minutes before competition. So
perfect.
We had to bow out for sure.
It seemed like, I mean, when that car was working fine, it was like a real ripper. I think one of my favorite moments.
What did you just say?
A real ripper.
A Grim Reaper.
Okay.
Grim Reaper,
It
yeah.
sounded like, I can never tell with your words. It sounded like, let's just move forward.
Brian, do you turn on the subtitles, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
Let me just get on that.
You had a crazy battle in Atlanta. I think it was against Riley Sexsmith.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know. I mean, you just look like you were on fire. Like,
What color was his aura, Paco?
gold. It's
Wow.
like Koru gold. And that was
It was a
the
good
first.
time.
And that was
It
the
was a good
first
time for
round
sure.
of Pro 2, right?
Yeah, it was the first round of Pro 2, and I mean, we were intending on competing in Pro 1 too, but we had some car malfunctions, and we got it all together for Pro 2 competition. So she when she's on, man. So I know the guys. I know Carrie and Ryan and Sebastian are back at the shop right now. They have the car completely torn apart, and got some cool stuff in the works for that car for this year. Should be a ripper. Should be no excuses. Should be no excuses on my end.
What are you changing or adjusting to make it better, more reliable, whatever you want to call it?
They're completely rewiring the car. We got a new transmission in there. Everything is getting replaced, like from fuel pumps, injectors, engines gone through. Both engines are getting gone through and refreshed. We're adding nitrous to the car as well. Ooh. And we got one of those really cool RTS 6XD sequential gearboxes. So
yeah, that's my next question.
Really cool. Should be really cool. I saw they released an in-car video of them using it with Alex Hilbrun. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but when I was bench testing it, because at PRI they had it on a bench where they had like a little electric motor spinning the input shaft, so you could run it through the gears. Thing feels like glass. Yeah.
If I had that in my house, I'd just be slamming gears all day. That'd be so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It really would be. You wouldn't get bored. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. So it should be fun. Should be good. They also upgraded to like a Motec PDM, so that makes like diagnostic much more efficient. Yeah. Should be cool.
Is a sequential gearbox? It seems like every year there's more and more people going sequential with a transmission. Is that just like for easier and faster shifting, or do you also have to clutch kick to shift, or like what's the actual like true benefit of going sequential instead of H pattern?
Yeah, I mean, obviously from going from a 4 to 6 speed, you can definitely like play with your wheel speed, be a little more accurate with your wheel speed, and go in between gears on that. You also have the capability of flat shifting, which is wired into your ECU, where you do not have to depress the clutch pedal. So you could be third gear mid drift, and then you could, without lifting, you can just bang it into fourth, and it would correct for that. So that's
wait, you're supposed to push the clutch in.
You should.
When you shift.
Maybe in Subarus you don't have to, but every other car you do. So.
Well, the other big advantage too is the likelihood of missing a gear. It's almost impossible to miss a gear.
I guess you could try to shift left or right.
You could go into an H pattern with the sequential and probably strike out a few times. But there's a lot of good benefits from it, especially when you're running like a 6-speed.
And I guess that's the other thing, because it's not only the fact of it being sequential, but also being 6-speed. Mm-hmm. So you have more gears, very little difference in between. So it's almost like having quick change on the car.
Exactly. I imagine you're probably not. Do you have a quick change rear?
Yep.
I mean, imagine that you might be less prone to switching gears there when you have 6 to choose from up front.
Sure.
But are you traditionally someone that would try to gear your rear diff towards a track, or you just kind of pick one at the beginning of the weekend? Or
we go through them during practice. So usually every track we'll play around, and it's like, oh, I feel like I can get a little bit more over here, or this is too long, like I really want to tighten it up. Yeah, no, I'm pretty receptive, and we go through gear changes pretty frequently.
Really, no one's really gonna take that. Paco, I know you were thinking dirty stuff.
No, I'm not thinking dirty stuff. I'm actually looking at the super chat.
Okay. Oh, we got a super chat?
You already people wants to know.
Okay, so real quick, super chat. If you are watching live, you're going to be treated to beautiful pictures of Ryan's car on thanks to Big Balls in the control room, showing us this 6Z, which is one of my favorite cars in FD visually, which we'll talk about in a second. But there's also on YouTube, if you go in there in the live chat, and there's a bunch of real cool guys. What's up, Chris, Nick, Ren, Andrew? And we got some super chats. If you want to give a couple monies to let Paco build the wall around his house, you can do that, and we'll ask your question to Ryan. So, I'll kick it off, I guess, with or Paco. Do you want to do it with Jordan?
Sure. Let's take it from Jordan Sellner. Thanks for the wall around my house. Ryan, have you thought about competing in the 10K Drift Challenge at Top End Dragways in Sabine, Minnesota in June?
Yeah, I have actually. I think I might use the S14 for that.
Oh. What is that event? Can you tell us about it?
I mean, you kind of just like explained it. It's an event in the Midwest.
It's an event, and if you win, you get $10,000.
$10,000. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, okay.
That's about as much as I know.
What would you
about
do?
it.
What would you do with $10,000?
Put it in the bank. Chill.
Do you have it?
This is super exciting.
So boring.
Yeah, I do.
How much?
A little bit.
How much money? How much money do you have?
Dude, probably like $56. So I could have 10,000.
You could totally use that
you know?
that drift challenge.
I sat in a Bugatti. What's the $3 million new one?
And they kicked you out for not having enough money.
Oh, yeah, you're farted.
Did you fart it in it, Sam?
No, I just got to sit in it today, and I'm like, can you put a dollar value on what a person is worth? Right? It's like, I don't know. Am I worth $1 million to someone? Maybe. Like, if someone were to enslave me and sell me to someone, like, this guy's going to work for free and do whatever, like, for the rest of his life. He's got, like, maybe 30 good years left in him at the rate that I'm going right now. And it's like, how much am I worth? And then I had the feeling like, oh, I'm still not worth as much as this car. And then also I realized that I'm worth about $56, give or take.
Yeah.
I'm pretty used up.
Sam,
So-
you should go run the 10K drift challenge in your Subaru just to try to stack a few bones.
Kenneth Blocks does it in all-wheel drive Subarus.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Used to, not anymore.
Oh, no, those are all Subarus. I saw Jim Conn at 10.
Well, there you go.
There you go. You were just on the Hoovingen channel today, I think, weren't you, Ryan?
Ryan?
Why are you just smiling at me?
He's gazing up into your
Can you
eyeballs.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm talking. You're just lagging. I'm
Oh.
actually lost in that little pop-up kitty that he has behind his head. That kid, that's a kitty, right? Right behind your head, right there, on your left shoulder. Isn't that a cat? Yes. It looks like. That's not a kitty. That's a kitty.
That's Finn from Adventure Time. I think Paco got me that figurine actually. Paco,
Yep.
can you correlate that?
Interesting.
Thank you, Paco. But yeah, you were on your S14. I think was on some Hoonigan stuff today, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did a build biology a couple weeks ago, and it aired today. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Got to go through and give people a little rundown of how that car works and what's been successful on that. It's lasted for
That's awesome.
quite a while. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And one of my favorite details on, I think I know the S14 at least, but also the Z, I'm guessing as well, your cars are actually painted, which almost no one does these days.
Yeah, both cars are painted. They're not painted by the same people, but they both are painted and have very nice paint jobs.
Like a low rider airbrushed. How many layers?
So it's 4.5 pounds of metal flake on the S14, and it's like 6 coats of clear.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea in that everyone's trying to add weight these days because that's kind of the build thing you do in an FD. You make it as light as possible, and then you add the weight back to make whatever tire class you want. But it's sometimes hard to add the weight, and you're not allowed to legally add weight certain ways. So, you can't do like tungsten subframe rails or whatever. I forget what the legality is. We're gonna have Kevin Wells on the show sometime soon, and we'll ask him the dumbest questions I can come up with. But just maybe do like a 50-pound paint job. Just put a lot of flake in there.
There you go. Lots of Bondo, lots of lots of body
dude.
filler, lead-based paint. You could do that in Arizona. So
Yeah,
you'd be all right.
Gotta love it. Gotta love Arizona. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that you're keeping that alive. How many bumpers do you go through in a season though? When you shred bumpers, it's gotta kind of like put some extra paint.
I actually did pretty good. I think I only went through one side skirt and one front bumper. I think I was able to retain the rest
On the Z or the S14?
on the S14.
Oh.
Paco, what kind of body kit does he run on his S14?
He's running a beautiful S14 Super Doof kit.
Oh, Ryan!
Wow.
So proud.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Like
it's the
you.
best looking kit you can get.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey.
You make it look good, man. Let me tell you that.
Ryan, are there some? So Ryan's in the clubhouse of his apartment for internet purposes. Are there some bros in that clubhouse with you?
But yeah, they're gonna play poker, I guess. You guys gonna play
Oh.
poker?
Liquor in the
No.
front, poker in the rear.
He's just kicking
So,
it.
we could have them in the show in a
Tight.
minute. Oh hell yeah!
Oh, tight. It's a party in here.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll ask.
Where do
them
you
about
live? In the
cars.
Jersey,
Ask them about
Jersey
their cars
Shore
in just
house?
a minute.
Yeah.
So You got the Z coming into FD 2018 every round. Who's helping you make it to every round? Who's got your back in this endeavor?
Koru Works.
Koru
Works handles travel and logistics, and I fly in and do my job.
Koru Works is, without a doubt, I know we talked about it last time we were on the show last year, but all I had was pictures and Instagram and all that to go off of. But then visiting it this year for the Great Garage Snap-On episode we did, it is such a cool little shop. I have, unfortunately, still never been to Japan. Japan hooked me up to get out there, but I imagine it's like the American version of what a Japanese drift shop would be. It's like so clean and so tight, and there's something special about that shop. I've never seen a drift shop quite like it.
It's super cool. I mean, yeah, it's like heated, air-conditioned bays. They got like the really cool waiting room in the front with the TV and the couches, and Greg's
It feels
always,
like a clubhouse.
ordering. Yeah, it's like an adult playhouse that they
You had all
build
those bunk beds,
super
the
awesome
potted bunk
cars.
beds.
I think
Pods with all the Asian women in the back.
There is a shower and there is a bed up top. So
Really? I didn't know.
yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't run out of space with all of Greg's fixed gear bicycles that he keeps on buying now.
If I take it, you haven't been to his apartment yet.
No, I haven't. Is it rough?
No, it's a really nice place. Just tons of bikes. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like 75% bikes.
He's got a bit of a problem. And
He
also
does.
at Koru Works is something pretty special. You guys have a Hakusuka, a early Skyline.
Yeah, Tyler picked that up last year. He sold his Corolla and then he picked that up, and super sweet. He's got all the toys, man. He's got like the dopest S13. He's got a Boss S14 with the JZ, and he's got that Hakusura. He's got like a really cool BMW 1 Series that he dailies. He's got like F250 Platinum. Yeah, he's got some cool stuff, man.
And also of note, you guys are right across from a graveyard. How spooky does it get over there?
It's super spooky. When I first went over there, I was like, oh,
No
there's your
way.
backdrop. There's like Greg goes over there and takes pictures of his bikes.
In the cemetery?
Graveyard.
God, he's so emo.
On Graham's
Greg.
tombstone.
Get it together, dude.
Yeah.
Typical Greggy. There's 2 more questions on Super Chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, there's 3 now. Jeez.
Dang, Lit.
Stay sideways. Stay sideways. He's got I think stay sideways. We appreciate it. $2.79. That's Canadian. Okay,
that's like what, like 50 cents?
All right. What is
So
it?
he's asking, what will you do for media this year? And he also wants to know, in FD last year, what were the ups and downs, which we kind of touched on, but if you want to touch on it again. But first of all, what are you going to do for media? You said when I texted you and said, hey, do you want to be on the show? What's your 2019 plan? You mentioned to me as well, like you got some big media plans coming up.
I have obviously I have my own media department that I can utilize with the company Voodoo Ride. That title sponsors the S14. We have a couple of different partners that are going to jump on board and create content for us throughout the Formula D season, and some other companies that are also going to hop on board and create media through the S14 program as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And stay sideways. Second question, like what happened in the ups and downs? Like you said, obviously in New Jersey your car broke, but what was your biggest challenge in campaigning your 2018?
It was just consistency. You know, like when you have a new car, there's going to be areas that will be able to tell you that we'll be able to like. Sorry. There's areas that would falter that you couldn't foresee, like that crank pulley snapping in St. Louis. Like nobody could have foreseen that happen. And then we tried to mend that. Like you wouldn't think to bring a second one of those. That's like a one-time produced part, right?
Let's talk about that real quick because that was such a unique thing that occurred. Let's go into that story.
So, you know, I'm in the burnout box. I'm ready to do for my second qualifying lap. And St. Louis is really fast. That's easily the fastest track probably most anybody in the States has driven on in the States.
This was a brand new track for everyone too. This is
brand new track. And like after we ran that track and we went to Texas right after that, it made Texas feel small.
Yeah.
And Texas definitely isn't like a small, weak track either. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so I'm going through that power alley. So like, you know, you start off, you do the little chicane, and then you're like fourth gear buried through that straight. And when I came into that first inner clipping point, I felt all of a sudden like, you know, like a power steering belt or your power steering pump fails. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's over, I don't know, it's probably 100 miles an hour, maybe. I know we don't read speed anymore, but easily let's just call it 100 miles an hour. And then
Always
the
a
power
fun
steering just
time
gets
for,
ripped out of your hands. Yeah, it was a scary moment for sure. But it was more like frustration because we had already had like a pretty difficult weekend already, and it was just like, fuck, dude. And then like my car shattered out. Like it's like if you watch the replay, like the crank pulley is like dancing around in the engine bay, and then it just like hits the rear tire and just like kicks it out. Yeah, it was a rough.
But then you guys went through some extreme lengths to try to get it fixed. If I recall.
So we still had Pro 2 competition. I think it was supposed to be that night, but then there was that gnarly rainstorm.
Oh, right.
So then it got canceled. So there was a local CNC machinist that tried to make the part for us, and we were well, it's like an extension to like space the pulleys out, because we use like 2010 Camaro water pump and stuff, so it's like spaced out further from the actual block. So it has to be like a custom adapter piece, so you could put the supercharger pulley and your drive pulleys and all that shit on there. And he almost succeeded, but the part turned on the machine like an hour before we had to run, and we were done. That was like the nail in the coffin for sure. Not the nail in the coffin, but you know, the nail in the coffin. But
that was a Jared.
I had to do it.
And then,
yeah,
that's pretty good. I liked it. We're gonna definitely talk to Matthew Kaufman sometime soon here. Paco, do you want to hit Logan's question?
Yeah,
Logan, thanks for the
Logan
box,
call with a very good $10 contribution. Thank you so much. Any tips on building a strong drift program? I know you took 2 years off to build your program to what it is today. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Looks like there's some noises coming from your end. Are you like in a construction
those guys are
site?
just hammering.
just hammering away. They left. We're good.
They're hammering each other. I like that you were just like talking loud about shit that like they probably wouldn't care about. And like, well, this is good. Let's start talking about fly clutches. It's like,
it's so funny. No one's ever in here. It's like, you know, it's private. It's quiet. It's a one time you're fucking in here, dude. It's like, oh yeah. I was like, what are you doing here? These guys gonna play poker? They're like, no, it's just like the only table open so we could like eat our food. It's like, don't you have an apartment here? Like you gotta come over here. Anyway, repeat the question, Paco. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Any tips on building a strong drift program?
Just having a consistent and reliable car, having a group of guys that are reliable and easy to work with. Having a reliable truck and trailer is another thing. You definitely need to make it to the events. Years prior, had an unreliable truck that gave me a lot of issues. I still made it to the events, but it put my my state of mind kind of in a heightened way when you're like fighting to get to the track, you know. So yeah, I would say just those things. You definitely need to have a media presence. Make sure you're performing on your deliverables. If you want to go in like the professional realm and do FD and have like, you know, some marketability behind your program, that's what you should focus on. Yeah.
What do you recommend is like the right tow package for like a Pro-Am guy or like a Pro 2 guy that's self-funded? Like what's the best truck trailer combo for you?
It's all depending on your budget. I would try to find, you know, obviously like the Dodges are probably the most affordable. I mean, you could get like the older Ford 6.0s, or even like a 7.3 is like a bulletproof truck for sure, other than their transmissions. But it is an older vehicle and it can be susceptible to braking. They don't make a lot of power too. So again, you're kind of at the mercy of that. The 6.0s is a good platform if they've been bulletproofed, which bulletproofing is, that's a whole other discussion, but they can be problematic. Some guys, like I have two friends that have 6.0s. One friend has never had an issue, and I have another friend that has had tons of issues. So, and then that comes up to the Dodges. Same thing. I'd probably get like a used 2006 dually 4x4 with a 6-speed. I think that would be like the best.
You think
Dodge auto trannies are not known?
Do you recommend 4x4 better?
Yeah, because you just never know where you're going to be and where you're going to go. Like, I mean, I travel all over, like even seeing like, just even like in like heavy rain conditions, you might hit snow. You never know when you're going to be traveling. You might even pull off to the side of the road to repair your vehicle, and you might pull off over into like sand and you might be stuck. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you should always have a 4-wheel drive. I know some people might feel like you might get better fuel economy or you don't need it. Like, I would rather have it and never use it than need it and not have it. So yeah, that's what I would say.
What is you don't have to spend an hour talking about, but what is bulletproofing? Because I'm authentically curious.
So bulletproofing, I think, is like within. I've never personally owned one, but bulletproofing, I believe, is like Bulletproof is a 6.0 diesel company. They like replace the oil coolers and a bunch of other crap. I haven't personally gone through it or really necessarily looked into it, but so I mean, I'm kind of done there. I guess you could Google it if you really cared, but I don't.
I mean, that is the answer to almost everything we asked on the show. We could literally just do a 10-minute show called Google It if you care.
Just fucking Google it.
I know.
I just know it's like that's like the necessity of what you need to make sure that they don't blow up. I guess there was a problem. I guess if you really want to get into it, I guess that's when Ford had left International, because International is the ones that were making the 7.3s for them. And then they went to a different company for the 6.0, and something happened, and the engines had to be rushed. So I guess like during the castings of the blocks, they didn't like clean them properly. So over time, there's like sediments of that casting that get through your oiling system, and that'll like clog everything up. And that's what blows engines, I guess. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, that blows.
This is like one of those new territory. Not new. I'm sure there's so many people that know so much about trucks, but it's like one of those things that at least I have barely explored and don't really know because I've never owned a big truck like that or had to tow a vehicle around. But it's like I'm not like everyone's already asked 1,000 times. Like, what are the first mods to do to my drift car? Weld your diff, buy a seat. You know, that sort of shit. It's like, what do you get to tow your truck? That's like such a wide field. Or tow, what do you get to tow your drift car? Like, that's such a wide field.
Right.
And of course, there's 1,000 answers depending on budget and intention and all that.
Sure.
Chris,
so like if you have
maximum tow cats
for the budget, I would say the most. So I finally, like, I had so many vehicle problems, I just got sick of it. I just ponied up and we just bought a new 2017 F350 back in 17. And if you can afford to do that, like, you know, 100,000 mile warranty, you can service it anywhere from Mexico to Canada. Like, it's never given me a problem. So that issue's alleviated.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, you live in California though. You're not like in the city, are you? Where do you park an F350?
I park into my carport, dude.
Nice.
Beast.
Yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it.
There's a very
Don't worry about it.
very important question popped in the super chat, by the way. These ones
Beautiful baby boy. Maybe you've heard of him. Christopher Stewart. Stewart.
Oh, tight.
Stewart. He says, how much party are you bringing to hashtag all caps grid life this year? And what kind of snacks do you want?
Well, I definitely want Bucel's hot wings for one.
Wait, are those an official thing yet, or is he just talking all marketing?
Oh, no, that's a thing. Did you see the little K-Truck, little concession K-Truck that they got him? Yeah. It is the cutest, coolest little K-Truck I've ever seen in my life. It's got a little concession window.
Hot wings at Grid Life next year?
Yes.
No way.
Well,
lemon pepper wet?
Yes. Lemon pepper hot wet.
Ooh.
Lemon pepper hot wet.
Hey, calm down.
You know he's going to sell out in day one. He better be ready.
I think he's ready. But yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
I'm going to rage on that cart.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be something. Head over to Greg's Instagram and you can see it. It's super cool.
I do follow Greg, but I think I may have unfollowed him because he was posting too many bikes, and I love fixed gear bikes, but too many bikes, Greg. We've talked more about Greg than we've talked about you on this podcast. You're welcome, Greg.
He's a celebrity in his own right, so I'm not offended at all.
Oh my God, this truck is incredible. Brian, could you open up?
Yeah, I'm getting him a link.
Oh my God, this truck looks like the dorkiest mini truck I've ever seen. If you guys are audio only listeners, please consider checking out the show on Facebook or YouTube Live or next day, because we do have this beautiful little aspect of being able to show this dorky, awesome truck that is now going to be Greg's Hot Wing truck. Oh my God! He even has hashtag Blue Cells Hot Wings, hashtag Lemon Pepper Wet.
Oh,
Which
it's so good.
Every time we go to Atlanta, we always Google out lemon pepper wet, trying to find those wet wings. Dog.
Hillary.
Wait, Paco, is that your Bill Clinton impression?
I thought it was your Bill
Hillary.
Clinton impression.
Paco, let me hear your Bill Clinton impression again.
Well, welcome to 2019. We're gonna have Brussels wings. I never had wings with that woman.
Not good.
Wow.
Look how cool that is. Look at the little
That's
school
it.
bus door that it has. And the little window. And that thing folds open as like a little shade. And it's got a little counter. Dude, and it's already wired up. Like that thing is ready to go. That is ready to go. That is
It
the
looks
wildest
like the
Honda
designer
Active
was
I've
like
ever
just-
seen.
It looks like the driver was drawing like a Civic Wago van and then sneezed. And then like did a huge vertical windshield line.
It looks very sanitary, by the way.
It looks like it needs
yeah, it
cars,
looks like that.
eyes from the movie Cars. It's
That
definitely a
and
character.
more will be at Grid Life. I can't wait for this year's Grid Life. It's going to be some wild shit. I just saw Brian's Facebook timeline, and there was a minion on there. Brian, get it together. So, Greg and Corey, you guys have campaign Z's and FD. What? Greg, do you want to ask Corey? Or not Greg, Ryan. We're talking to
Are you
Ryan,
serious?
do you have any questions? Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Ryan, do you have any questions
Oh
for
my
Corey
God.
on how to...
We're just excited.
You know what's
about
really
it.
funny? You know what's really funny? At some events, people thought Greg was me. So he like full on. They'd be asking him full on questions. He'd be signing autographs.
Yes.
He's standing right there. So good. It's like he's
Yeah.
a great,
Well,
great
now there's
driver.
gonna be-
That is
He's a
freaking
great
funny.
driver. There's going to be demands for Greg to be on the show at this point.
I sure hope
I feel like he
so.
needs
After his
it.
first-
I feel like he needs it. I feel like he needs to be on here.
I think we were talking about having him on studio. Definitely, we need
Well-
him full potential.
Fixed gear bikes and hot wings are kind of some of my favorite things in the world. So
That's
here we
true.
go. It'll be a good show. But I was half joking, half serious. But you and Corey have drifted some Z's before. Why don't you commiserate about that? I see a lot of people moving into the Z's now that S chassis are old hat. What's your opinions?
Go ahead, Corey. Are you
Go ahead.
asleep?
Corey?
Yeah,
I think
no.
he's asleep. I think he's asleep.
No, I'm over here. I'm listening.
Don't
I'm
lie. I
dropping
saw you
in.
sleeping right now.
No, it took me a second
Like
to wake up.
Flying off.
He's restarting.
I'm actually looking up bulletproofing 6 liters as you guys are talking.
Is that why you've been so quiet for the past 15 minutes?
Dude, figuring it out. No,
All right.
I think the
What do
Z's.
you think?
Well, no. I think the Z's are actually getting. Well, even going back a couple years ago, even
Aziz Ansari?
2012, 2013, 2010. I don't think the products like the Wisefab and things were out that made the Z so difficult to drive that a lot of these better aftermarket parts are coming out for the Z and now getting more affordable. And I think that's what's the big advantage is now with the Z platform. And obviously, the S14s are getting old and getting more expensive. And Ryan, it's like, look for an S14 right now. Look for a clean S14 right now.
Oh, dude, a 350Z is a much more desirable chassis than the S14 in the sheer fact of the price, right? Like you could find a 350Z for what, $4,500 bucks,
Oh,
$5,000,
Yep.
and it's far more capable than a stock S14 would be.
Yep. And S14s are probably about the same price or more at this point, as they're literally getting impossible to find in a
That's
decent
so
enough
crazy if
shape.
you think about it. I mean, I get it. I love S14s, but it's so crazy to think that a similarly, not even similarly, an inferior S14 as far as drifting is concerned. Let's say one that's been basically set up by someone versus a Z that's been basically set up by someone. Let's just say stripped down, welded diff, and a handbrake. Like the S14 is going to cost more money, probably, right? I mean, it's so wild to think about.
The tax,
Z
man, the
is-
trip tax,
Yeah.
for sure is a real thing.
Well, yeah, and that's so Z's
Well,
came around about 2003, so there's over 10 to 15 years of actual true development of the car. When 240's obviously been around since depending if it's S13, S14, 93, 94, 95 up. So even when FD first started, there was already 10 years of kind of aftermarket part
Yeah.
development at that time. So I think it's the trend of things that parts are getting more accessible and the chassis are getting more affordable. It's a big balance.
Yeah, I mean, that if you think about it, the Z itself as a chassis is very solid. It's very well put together. Like just chassis versus chassis.
It's got
has
so much bracing
better.
back from the
Yeah,
factory.
so much
even.
exactly.
That's
It's
crazy
very
too.
very stiff. Better wheelbase. Even though the car seems to be relatively shorter, it has a longer wheelbase. I mean, those cars kind of like drifted from factory. So they and they're so cheap now. I mean, I've seen rolling chassis for $1,000.
Yeah,
In-
we
in-
talked about like the grandma-driven car, like the S14. Like there's still some rolling around in the street. These grandma S13s and S14s. I see them every now and then, and it's beautiful. But there's hundreds and thousands of grandma-driven Zs right now that are just waiting to be ruined.
Yep, there are definitely plenty to choose from out there. And dude, like right out of the box, only thing that sucks on a 350 ZS stock one is the e-brake. But I mean, that's like the easiest fix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you could have a car that you can go to an event with. That's, I mean, they make what, sub 300? That's standard.
Depending on the
So-
year, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's more than enough to go out and play and have fun and
I mean,
at
our
your
ver-
local grassroots drift events.
Our very own Big Balls Brian, he used to drift the 350 on like what was like the equivalent of Formula Drift Pro-Am back in the day. You took that car to Irwindale, pretty much stock.
Yeah, it was just stock power basically. It had like the upper plenum and coilovers, but it was still full metal. I was like the heaviest car with the least amount of power there, so I wasn't really ready for it. But the Z, when I started drifting it, was just incredible right from the box. Bone stock. I think I highly recommend that chassis to anybody if they want to start picking up drifting. You can stay with that chassis from every single level as you grow. There's always an option that the Z can put you into, though. Improve your
So
drifting ability.
it's a good beginner car and a good pro car.
Pretty much.
How many championships does the Z have? Because you got Forsberg's 3. Was Tanner in a Z when he won a bunch? I'm trying to remember.
The 2 years back to back, 2007, 2008, I think he won it in that Z. Twin turbo with the V6 in it, yeah.
So 5 championships or more, if I'm forgetting
On
anyone,
Zs.
in a Z is pretty crazy. So there's no debate that it's a proven winner if you set it up right.
Mm-hmm.
Super chat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's super chat, Paco?
It's another super chat from Logan Cole. What are your thoughts on today's Pro-Am cars compared to Pro-Am cars a couple years ago?
I mean, I think Pro-Am's still kind of weird. You still have guys that have like the 400, 450 horsepower 1JZ, V8 builds, and then you have the guys that are going all out. So I mean, it's been like that for the past couple of years. I'm sure it was like that Koru remembers it too, when you're doing Pro-Am. You have some guys that are just like overbuilt over the hill. Like I got a full Pro 1 car, and then you have like the guys that are a little more on the conservative spectrum of it. And it all kind of depends on, I feel like it's like a happy median because you need like a good consistent driver and you need a consistent car. All that correlates up in the professional ranks too. But like take even, for example, like with Pro 2 this year, Travis and Dylan, and they had their tried and tested cars, and they were able to do really well because the cars were consistent. They knew what they were going to do. Mm-hmm. They rarely failed. So I mean, that's what wins, right?
Yeah, I forget if Dylan was telling me this or someone else is saying just like how little maintenance they actually did their car all year. This pretty much showed up, drove it, didn't change oil, just kind of turned their key and ran because it was the easiest configuration of a car you can build.
That's the best way to go about
Paco,
it. Yep.
I don't know, especially for Pro-Am and Pro 2 levels. I'm curious, Paco and Brian, you probably know more than others in this, and of course, Ryan, if you have the answer to this. Is Pro-Am do anything to stop those, like the kids that just show up with a shit ton of money and build a Pro 2 or, I think it's probably a Pro 1 car, but is there anything to stop those Pro 2 cars from stomping everyone in Pro-Am? Do they have tire rules? Do they have power rules in any
Pro-Am?
leagues these
No.
days?
Some do. I think Texas Lone Star has like a tire rule.
Yeah, it's based on whoever's organizing it,
Yeah.
the rules that they choose to make everybody follow.
But
pretty
that's
much
it.
Pro-Am right now.
But dude, if you think about it, like at Pro-Am level, it seems like the guys who show up with an extreme machine kind of like end up shooting themselves in the foot.
it depends on their time behind the wheel, built that way.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
There's a lot of drivers that I think
if they build
too
it
much
faster
car
than
without
their
enough
ability,
practice on
then it's a really
They
really
never
hard
had
road.
their They never had their stock Hachi on the Toge. They just showed up with a 900 horsepower Z or whatever, and just don't have the
It can be done though.
time
Not
behind the
denying
seat.
that. It can be
Yeah,
done if somebody
definitely.
really puts the money and the time into it. Sure.
Our buddy in Facebook chat, Andy Haley, says, stock Z's rip at Irwindale. I broke everything. Does Andy Haley have a history of breaking Z's at Irwindale?
You know, he actually took a rented 350Z
Oof.
at Irwindale. Like he rented one.
From
From like
Hertz?
budget.
a
from,
rental
like,
agency?
Yes. And he competed at the D1 driver search, I believe, like 2004. 2000, yeah, like
remember
2003,
the story, yeah.
2004. So it's like a brand new car at the time, and he took it to Irwindale.
Oh, Jesus, Andy. I want to get Andy back on the show soon.
That's what's cool about Andy Haley, man. You know, he's like a triple OG. That guy has been around for so long. That's why I think it's so cool to see him still out there going for it. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And he's been ripping the Forza hard, too, because his little beautiful 3 Series is in that game.
Yeah, he has.
He's really like 55. He's really like 55 years old, but he just preserves himself pretty good.
Stupid.
So what would you do? Let's say you were starting from scratch here, Ryan, and you are... When did you start drifting? How old were you?
2006. 2006, I was 18.
So if you're an 18-year-old in 2019 now, and you know what you know today, how would you start? What would you do differently? What would you buy? You just sold your mom's Ford Focus. She gave it to you. She loved that car. She said, "Don't break it." You e-braked it into a light pole at the Sears parking lot. Sears shut down, of course, and you light pulled it. You got $2,000 for it. That's all you got. What are you going to do? How are you going to start?
I mean, I would have started the exact same way. I mean, you got to buy a car that's within your means, and you have to grow with the driver pains of that vehicle, and you have to progress that vehicle per your skill level. You can't like have a car that's too like way gnarlier than you are, right? You always want to make a car that has less do more. I definitely always appreciate that. And for me personally, I think I would have taken things a little bit more serious when I was younger. But I mean, that's all part of life, right?
Yeah, it is. What do you mean? Like, let's get into the nitty gritty. So, what do you mean, take it more serious?
No, just like taking like opportunities and like direction more serious. Like, I wish I would have taken the path a little bit more serious when I was younger. I had like a lot of more opportunities when I was younger that I probably could have capitalized on. But like, if you don't have the mentality, you know, everybody grows at a different rate in a different stage. But that's probably what I would suggest to anybody. Like, if you have opportunities, kind of assess those opportunities and see what you can really make of them. You know, don't really take things for granted.
And don't give up.
What sort of opportunities?
I just think like with the
someone
marketability, like, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I know you were getting into it anyways. Like, well, I just want to get specific so these kids can learn. What opportunities did you blow or not take advantage of properly?
I wouldn't necessarily say blow, but like, you know, I definitely had an opportunity to probably jump into FD sooner, but at the same time, I didn't really have the means to do so. But I mean, I probably could have taken like when we used to do like the China trips or whatnot, but again, like they weren't really that serious in the aspect of what they were now. Like we'll say like when Vaughn got involved with that series, like it completely changed. When I attended in 2013, it was like a completely different ball game. Like it was like the most extravagant event that you'd ever seen. Like they had full on like concerts with like the neon lights, and then you had like the smoke that would shoot up from when you would start, which I had at Irwindale this year. This year Irwindale was like super cool. We could talk about that after this, but yeah, man, I think just maybe having just being more business minded would have like helped project me sooner.
Well, I think
guess
a lot of the problems, and I kind of ran through this, and I think a lot of people have is it's you start so young and you do this, you don't ever expect it to turn into something more than just having fun, right?
No,
until you get older,
exactly.
And that's the thing is you're getting into this, and it's just sweet. I'm doing this because I'm having a good time, and look where it took me. And until you get to a point, it's like obviously the older we get, the wiser we get. It's like fuck. Who would have ever thought that this dumb crazy thing we're doing in a car is now giving us an opportunity to make something out of it. I just think it's and now once again, you were in the earlier generations of this whole drifting thing, and then obviously Turk and Forsberg and all those other guys. It's like everybody went through this is just a fun thing we're doing with a car to, oh wait, there's an opportunity. Now the nice thing is we're still considered probably the first wave of drifters in the United States. The second wave is now coming up or now rising. They're already entering with that mindset. First wave guys like us had to figure it out. It was mostly for fun.
There was no blueprint or like game. Like you didn't really know even back then like how long this was going to last. Like you saw, like dude, like I remember my first events. If you pulled up, if you had a trailer, like you had an enclosed trailer and a tow rig, you were rich.
Big dog.
Like, damn, dude, this guy's got it going on.
Yep.
I thought Mike Gusso was a drug dealer, dude. I was like, how do you afford all this shit, dude?
It's a
Like, I
32-foot enclosed
I
trailer.
straight up told him, I was like, yeah, man. Like I used to street drive my R33, and I would have my dad follow me in the pickup truck with like the tires and the tools and everything. And like a trailer was like the furthest thing. We'd go to All-Star Bash. I'd drive the car all the way to the All-Star Bash, and you drive all weekend, drive it back home. Like that's an adventure and it's fun in itself. But yeah, the game has definitely changed in that aspect of things. Like now everybody is like standard. You have to have a tow rig and a trailer, and yeah, it's crazy.
No,
man.
flat
It's
tail
crazy.
life. You got towed behind an Aztec.
Hey, that
And honestly, the sport, like we talked about this before, the sport is still paving the way for the future. It's still young. It's only professionally in the United States, it's only 15 years old. You know, think how long it took NFL or NASCAR to even become relevant or even what it is. You know, NASCAR's been around for 60-something years or 72 years or something like that. And I think it was in the early 80s, so I think it was, I'm trying to remember the dates off my head, but it was like early 80s when drivers finally started making some decent money, but they started, 40 years prior to that. So they went 40 years where drivers were barely getting anything, and then finally 80s, it was the breakout of drivers and big sponsors and big companies. So 15 years in comparison.
I think it was like a TV package deal. It was something worked out a plan to get media out to television. I think that's what kicked NASCAR into high gear when it came to popularity.
Yeah, so I still think we're in that phase. So a lot of the guys that are in drifting at a professional that have been in it for 10 years are the ones still generating and paving the way, as there's still a lot to uncover in the sport and set examples and new ideas. And, obviously Vaughn's being an innovator in everything that he's doing, and there's a couple guys out there innovating opportunities in drifting. But now I think a lot of people that are turning 18 years old, 17 years old now and getting interested in drifting, a lot of the ideas and concepts of what you're capable of doing is now kind of laid out in a small degree. Before it didn't exist.
I'm really curious what it's all gonna. I'm curious what it's all gonna look like in like 10 and 20 years, when let's just say that pretty much almost the entirety of the cast today will be retired or moved on, or God knows where they'll be. But I mean, I'm curious. Like I doubt that Vaughn, Chris, Turk, JTP, maybe Matt Field because he's weird. Like all these guys. Like how many of these guys are gonna be doing this in 20 years? And I wonder what that crew will look like. Where are those kids going to come from? What's their history? Did they start by watching a YouTube video that's on that just got made today? Like what inspired them? How did they get into it? And what is their makeup going to look like? I have no idea.
Time will tell. Time will definitely tell.
Well, it's like, can you imagine, 15 years ago, 10, even going back to 10 years ago when, all of us were kind of getting involved or a little bit earlier than that. It's like, good luck finding an event. How can you expose somebody to drifting when there was no events in their area? So now it's like it's getting more accessible by the regions, through pro-amps and things like that. So I hope obviously the more popular it gets, and obviously the amateur grassroots stuff is still around. That's going to train a lot of people and expose a lot of people to the sport and things like that. But I think people can actually hit the ground running now if they want to get involved with sports. They have places where they can go drift. They have people they can reach out to. It's like, once again, going back 10, 15 years ago, it's like, where do we do this at?
Yeah, it's much more accessible now.
Yeah.
The speed of progressing can be
much
is
faster.
greater.
Yeah,
it's much faster.
that's exactly it, Brian. Is the rate at which you can grow is much faster because of the accessibility of tracks and events and venues and pro-ams and party events.
I would say like the majority percentage of people in the community feel it's a good community too. When it comes to like the drift community, the people you associate with, is everybody's happy to share information if you're cool and you're just asking, you want to learn.
Well, outside of they have YouTube,
Yeah.
YouTube as a tool as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, how do
Yeah,
I
I'm curious
drift?
how many are inspired by all these YouTubers that are much more popular than pretty much any driver in Pro 1 today, which is a weird thing to see. Is that these Adam LZs and TJ Hunt and more up and coming kids that have like more social media presence and more views than any of the top 10 in FD get, which is just kind of a weird thing. I wonder how that's going to translate for if and when these kids decide to get to Pro 1, if they can show they have the skill level and the budget and the cars and all that stuff. It'll be a weird, interesting time. I'm excited for it, though. It'll be cool to see.
Look at that. Remember that, Brian? Sam? Is your blue turret?
Yeah, Paco just showed the
good
towing
old-
bad. That was one of my last drift events.
Whose
Before I blew up my
Heisenberg
car.
mobile is that?
That's
Paco.
Take a
Paco's an
guess.
Aztec
No.
pilot.
take one wild guess.
Who else? Definitely not Corey.
Yeah, or Sam.
Well, it's definitely Sam's car.
Paco has too many cars. Paco, let's go on the list now.
Oh my
we
God.
like to do this. It's a segment of our show, very popular. It's called "What Cars Does Paco Have Today?" We do it about once every few months, and it's always pretty much the same. But let's just go down the list of all the cars that don't run that Paco has.
Let's see. So, should we start by older?
Sure, start from the top.
Start in whatever order you want, buddy.
From
Let's
front
just see.
yard to backyard.
Yes.
That's a good
Thanks, Brian. Got him.
one. Front yard.
Wait, Paco,
Oh.
hold on. That's the name of your biography or
Front
your
yard to
YouTube show. I
backyard.
don't know. Whatever you want to call it. From
Bi-
front yard to
bi-
backyard.
Business in the front yard, party in the backyard. Two 1978 Datsun 280Zs.
Two.
1968 Cadillac Eldorado.
Mm-hmm.
1991 Subaru SVX. 1991 Dodge Ram van.
Mm-hmm.
Dajiban.
Yep.
1992 Mazda MX-3.
Mm-hmm.
2004 Pontiac Aztek, 2001 Chevy Avalanche, 1991 Tofu Drift Van, Toyota Previa,
Yeah.
1988 Buick Riata. Jeez, guys,
What
missed
about
that
the
thing.
300 ZXs?
Well, the one, that's just a shell. It doesn't really count.
Okay.
Then your daily.
No, hold on. That still counts.
Okay, well,
Put it on
counts.
put it on the counter.
92 300 CX, 1981 Chevrolet Corvette. That's the 2JZ
Yeah.
one. Holy shit.
Well, you're at 13 cars
That's
right
Do
now.
you,
12.
do you realize you have a problem?
Oh, don't forget the
Right.
Dolphin.
On the
Well, wrap it up at 13
1997 RV, National RV Dolphin.
He's not done.
No, the Dolphin is good to go, bro.
cars. But it's 13 total. Is that the final number?
13 and two motorcycles,
So 15 vehicles.
15 vehicles.
Wait,
Holy
which one?
shit.
Okay, now let's narrow down that list. Which ones run?
Aztec, Avalanche, MX-3, the Dolphin,
The Dolphin, the Cadillac.
the Cadillac. The SVX kind
Doing
of
pretty
runs.
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like half.
He has 50
Both
50.
motorcycles run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
That's
bad,
it.
Paco.
Not
Very
bad.
impressive.
Thank you. All right.
I saw on social that your Z got a paint job.
Oh,
It's getting one step closer to
It's
the edge, and it's about to make some power.
sound blasted and powder coated. That's my college car. So I brought that car from Mexico. Actually, I drove it through college, and I'm doing like a full restoration, resto mod. Got the whole chassis sandblasted and powder coated. It's got a 4-point.
Does it have the right papers,
roll
or
cage.
does it just cross the border without?
It came
without
back
the proper
to the
documentation?
States. It came back to the States, actually. That car was imported into Mexico. So I brought it back home, if you may.
All right, just want to make sure.
But this
that-
show is not about me. This show is about...
Well, it's an
The
important
bearded
segment
man.
that we have to hit every few months in Paco's cars.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have
Brian, what's your drift car and street car history? Let's hear it.
Drift car, street car. So first drift car was a 89. No, it was a 90. I had a fastback 240, single cam. I had like some blown JICs on it, VLSD, bucket seat, Sparko wheel. That was cool. I rocked that for a while. Then I put an SR in it, and then I got an R33 GTST. I whipped that around for a while. Then I had a an 86 ETS that I drove for a while, and then I got the 14. Yep, that's my drift car history.
It's a good history. You covered all the bases there. What was the story with the Skyline? How'd you get that in the States, and how did that end up there?
So I actually started driving that for I had a buddy that had a couple cars, and he was like trying to put a team together, and me and another friend drove the cars. They had like a 180S, like a right-hand drive Japan 180SX. And then they had the R33, so I drove the R33, and then the guy moved out of state. And he was like, "Hey, you know, I just want to ditch these cars because I just got to get out of state." And so he offered me like a killer deal on the cars, like I think it was like $5,000 or something. So I sold my S13 that I had at the time, and to acquire that. And then so I drove that for a few years, and then I was going to build that car for competition. The car took like quite a long time to get it finished. I lost interest in the project, and then that's when I bought the Corolla. And then I started working for Edison, doing like traffic control, and that was just like driving for fun, doing events where I wanted to. And then an opportunity to get the S14, and then I just went from there. And then I finally sold that Skyline, I think in the year 2016, to help fund. I sold the Corolla and the Skyline to help fund my my season for the year for FD.
Sick. What year is your S14?
It's a 98. Kobe.
Oh, so you've got one of the fresher ones that you didn't do a headlight mod. You actually got the real headers on there.
Yep.
Good buddy Christopher Stewart's from Grid Life donated the coolest amount of money, 666. Thank you, Chris. Hail Satan.
Hail.
And with all those cars, Paco, when you going to chop the top? Hashtag Chop Top Challenge, which is something that Chris just told me about this year that he helps put on. One of the coolest things in the world that we definitely got to do, guys. Paco, we need one of your cars to actually be able to make it a couple hundred miles across. Maybe it's a couple hundred or
do a
1,000,
chop top.
I don't know. Yeah. So essentially, you drive. It's like you get. I'm gonna.
It's like a cannon. It's like a cannonball. It's like a cannonball run.
Yeah. But the idea is that you chop the top off the car at the event when it starts in the middle of winter in Chicago, and you cruise around with a completely chopped top, no windshield, no roof, no nothing in the dead of winter, from I think Chicago down south to Austin. I forget where. Chicago to Austin, Chris Stewart says. So Corey and Paco, you want to do this? Which car should we use though? The Previa? Let's chop it.
Yeah, cut the cage out of it.
Cut the cage.
Imagine if we did that on the Eldorado.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I think it will look badass, but obviously
that would be really badass.
I wouldn't destroy that car. That car's cool. But
Ryan, what's your strategy for this? What car?
Chris was actually pushing me into doing the Aztec.
Aztec, dude. That thing is, as much as I like to shell on the Aztec, it's been pretty reliable, right? It's driven to California.
Best vehicle I ever owned.
See, I would think.
But the thing is, like, it's kind of totaled after this, so you can't really go back.
What about Corey? Already has a semi chop top. Like it's already.
No, I was thinking
have
we need something like a van. We need like something like cut the big whole freaking long roof off.
Yeah, definitely chop top the van. I definitely agree with that.
And
shut up, Litteral.
Part
of my van.
No, part of the reason is we could probably put like a little barbecue in the back.
Oh, dude, I was totally thinking if we're doing this, I'm fucking getting a rolling grill, like a Circle K rolling grill.
Yeah, we can get rolling grills,
hot dogs,
barbecue, and we can have a mobile roofless RV.
So if somebody's trying to pass us, we just like throw hot dogs.
Let's chop the top of the Dolphin.
Oh, full living quarters.
That'd be so sick. Full living quarters RV, just no top, sawed in half.
Paco.
The most unreliable RV.
2 miles.
I'm freezing.
I don't care.
That's definitely like an Ironman challenge. Like, dude, Chicago is cold, man.
Yeah.
No top. Cruising at highway speed. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, these people
sounds awful, and I want to do it.
Man.
If you see these people, they're bundled up like 3 layers of thick coats, face mask, goggles. I mean, they look.
I can't get the idea of a chop top RV out of my head.
It looks like a polar expedition. I mean, we can find some cheap RV, that's for sure.
And keep in mind, most of these guys do not even have a windshield. Like it's a flat.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of a chop top. I don't think you're allowed to have a windshield, Corey.
No,
Oh yeah, that's the whole idea.
There's a Previa right
Chris,
here.
Chris Stewart is bringing a secret weapon, so we can't say.
What's that?
No, can't say it's secret.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody already
Stewart.
did a Previa, but
We should get a limo.
well,
Yeah.
Cone,
something long and
Mike
something ridiculous.
Cone has a limo. They already did the limo, and they
Chris,
have the
when
roll
is
cage in the
this-
back.
See,
Chris Stewart, when does this go down, and where do we find out more information about it? Because I'm kind of serious. I do really want to do this.
what if we chop top Greg Boussel's
hold
car?
on, Brian. Brian's got the right idea right there.
What is that, Brian?
There you go.
That's a Monte Carlo from the movie Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I already love that car.
Oof.
That car is perfect.
Let's find a Monte
But-
Carlo and chop the top.
It's got to be bigger.
It's got seats in the back. Look, they're partying with the boys.
All right. I couldn't figure out what car that was.
March
so we'll
March
just have to do.
25th to 20 March 21st
21st
to
Paco.
25th.
Get your dates right. March 21st to 25th. Is there a website? How do we find out more information? Chris?
Chopped up challenge.
Ryan, Litteral, you're about to. You and Greg are gonna go on an adventure. What vehicle do you get?
K
for the chop top challenge.
K truck.
His Honda Fit. I would definitely love to chop the top on the Honda Fit for sure. Donated.
Donated. trying to think.
I've seen Honda Fits for pretty cheap actually.
I think what we have to do is we have to find an RV in Chicago. We got to go out there a couple days early, change oil, make sure the spark plugs are good,
And then
check all
ruin
that.
it.
And then we start the event. We chop the top off, and we make it happen. And the best part is the RV will have a bathroom, and you
An open bathroom.
you have to numero uno, numero dos. With
So we
no
need to
top on.
chop it like pretty much at waist height.
Yeah, waist high all
Yeah,
the way
waist
around.
height all around. Perfect.
Maybe a little hot tub action in there.
We're still having the rolling grill.
All right. Any more questions for our buddy Ryan before we do some Instagrammers? And also Facebook, if you guys have any questions for Ryan, we're going to check out your questions there. YouTube live, you guys live listening right now. If you have questions for Ryan, we're going to check out there as well. And of course, we've had the Instagram up for a little bit, questions for Ryan. But before we get to those, anything special for him, Corey, Paco?
I think there's some good questions on the gram.
Yeah, the gram is popping. It's popping.
Graham is popping.
Popping in
Graham is
Grandeur.
popping.
All right, you guys want to start up?
Sure.
Macho Man Randy Sanchez with the incorrect question. Who did the rap? It's incredible. It's paint, bro. He's talking about your sick Voodoo Ride and Koru Works car. But yeah, who paints and who does vinyl on your cars?
I think Ryan's cold because he froze. There we go.
Ryan,
there you go.
please.
He's back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who did all the paint on your car?
My good buddy Jose Gonzalez painted the S14. It's a high school friend of mine, and at Factory 83 Ian designed the liveries. They actually designed the liveries on both cars, and then I had Super Wow Factory print and apply the vinyl on the S14.
Are these Atlanta or California companies?
California.
Nice.
Yeah. Ian is in Portland, and then David from Super Wow is NorCal.
Paco,
Nice.
Corey, you
I
got
have
one?
a question from Dustin Miles, D_GMP. Crunchy Cheetos or Puffs?
Oh, Puffs all the way.
All the way.
All the way.
You know it, bro.
Here's Jared Heckman 73. I see you're trying to sell the RB from the S14. Don't you also have an RB25 Neo? Is there any future plans with the RB, or is the makeover complete rolling them out? What have you decided in 2019?
So, I mean, I might go another direction with the car, or I might keep that same setup. I can kind of go either way at this point. I have another venture that I'm exploring. But, yeah, the Neo will be coming together here pretty shortly. But I might be changing it up for that car.
Uh-oh. Which direction? You going to keep it 6 or 8?
It's going to stay 6. It's not going to go 8.
What's making you think to change it up?
It just, well, you know, it's just easier to get parts. It's easier. There's easier ways to make power. It's more proven ways. But I mean, I have the RV pretty dialed, to be honest. I mean, I don't have to change it, but there's you know, there's other options out there.
Right
You know,
on.
the RVs have quite a stigma on Formula Drift, but there seems like recently, I mean, Kevin Lawrence running an RV it seems like he hasn't had a lot of problems. You having an RV, even though it's not an FD, I think you abuse your party car probably more than your FD car and still doing good. So,
Oh yeah.
What?
No, it's definitely been a really cool platform, and you know, the whole purpose of that car is just to go out and have fun and not worry about it, right? Like that's just like the whole purpose of that car. That's why that car doesn't make, you know, over 800 horsepower, 900 horsepower. When you really start dancing on the fine line of reliability, right?
How much you
I feel like
making on that one?
On the RB right now, I run it like 600.
Oh, okay.
650. Yeah. When I was competing was like 780 to the tire.
Got it.
I think we talked about it a year ago when you're on the show, but give us the brief again to dispel all the unreliable rumors. What do you do to make an RB reliable at 500-600 horsepower? What do you need to do to it?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously you need to address the like all the head, like you got to do like restrictors in the block. You got to do head drains. Like there's like a freeze plug in the back of the head that you got to punch out, and then you'll fit you can either do like an AN line and then run that to a bung on the oil pan. So basically, like the problem with the RB is really similar to the LS. When you're bouncing on the limiter, all the oil wants to just stay up trapped inside the head, and it doesn't want to come back down to the lower end. So you starve the bottom end of oil, and then you launch your engine. So, yeah.
See, I always
Just good, like, you know, like with anything, you know, like obviously it's like good prep, good fab. Everything comes down to prep. So like all of your machine work has to be really good. The assembly has to be really good. Like, you know, we send our agents to get, you know, line honed and everything is balanced. Even like the clutch goes along with the crankshaft and all your pistons, everything is balanced. Like from your pressure plate, everything is balanced within your rotating assembly. So
Yeah.
it's just preparation and then maintaining your vehicle too. You know, I change, like, since I run ethanol, I usually change my oil every day that I run the car. So
Ethanol tends to run dirtier on an engine.
just like more fuel inside the oil, which when you get it up to operating temperatures, like, you know, with ethanol and the car's cold, when you start it up in the morning, you're going to pull the dipstick and you're like, oh shit, like it looks like a head gasket almost. But then when you let the car warm up and it, you know, you get it up to operating temperature, you'll see that the water and fuel goes away, right?
I feel like kind of what you said really applies to almost any motor platform that's popular in drifting.
Sure.
It's like
I mean,
everyone has shit to say about it, but it's like, oh yeah, if you make sure it stays cool enough, stays oiled, and gets enough fuel, it's probably going to be fine.
That's all you need. That's all you need. I mean, you could beat, dude, I beat the living crap out of my cars, you know what I mean? But they've been reliable for the most part. Like the lower end in that car is still standard from 2014. So to say that that they're unreliable, I think is an untrue statement. But you know, they are expensive. Like if you want to go buy an RB26 from an engine supplier right now, you're looking at like $5,500. Yeah. And then even being able, like in the process of building, I was going to build a 26 where I went with a Neo. And like all companies that sold cams for the engines were like back 3 months. They're like back ordered 3 months because they couldn't get cam cores supplied to them for them to build.
How do you feel about RB30s?
I'm not like really a big fan of it. Like an RB30 is like a longer stroke. You can't rev them. Like, I mean, I know there's guys that do, but you know, that isn't like where they make their power. If I were to do anything crazy and money was no object, I would love to do like a 2.8, like that dude, Drift Squid, like in his
Jake
M3,
Jones?
Like, dude, 2.8 is the shit. Like,
what's
you
a
can
2.8?
scream that thing, rev it.
That's a stroked 2.5 or 2.6.
So stroke 2.6.
Huh.
I mean, it could be in a 2.5 too. I mean, they just give you like a different crank, right?
So I'm planning on doing, for my Datsun, I'm planning on doing an RB30 NA with a 26 head and ITBs.
Why don't you just do like why would you do that though?
Mostly, well,
don't even ask Paco that question.
Good
You're not
question,
gonna get-
Litteral.
no, I mean I've seen a few Japanese builds doing it. I want to keep it NA, but I want to keep it close to the same displacement, the 2.8, so 3.8 3-liter. I mean, I would go with the RB26 NA, but 26s are just very expensive. And apparently the RB30s are not that expensive. They rev up fairly good.
An
They're
RB26
torquey.
already has ITVs, and you would just have to have someone make you a header. I mean, you could change that compression. I mean, yeah, I guess, because if you're going to go NA, you're going to want higher compression.
Are the cams,
And
are the 26 cams good for NA?
I mean, you're already going to be using the head, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be fine.
All right. Well, I
Paco,
might
do you know what
change
we
my
should do to the
consideration.
Dolphin?
What, Sam? What should I do to the Dolphin?
We should put some RV cams in it.
RV cams in the Dolphin.
It already has an RV cam.
What?
Yeah.
When'd you do
Oh.
that?
Shit,
That's
she's
how
ready
it
to
came.
go.
It came from factory. It's a. I thought when I bought it, I thought it was a V10, but I was pretty disappointed when it's just a V8.
Ah,
what
bummer.
a bummer.
But it's a Ford. It's not a small flock 350.
Oh,
It's
boy.
an RV cam.
All right, we got a good question here from 8-Bit MX5 Ruffles. I'm going to modify it a little bit, though. He says Brittany, Christina, or Mandy Moore. I'm going to change that to Pork, Mary, Kill.
Pork.
Pork, Mary, Kill. Pork softly.
That's
Pork
the PG.
softly.
That's the PG-13 version,
Yep.
huh?
Yeah, Brittany, Christina, or Mandy Moore. And Mandy Moore. What's your pork?
What's the
Marry,
the
kill.
list one more time? What are the names? So Britney Spears.
Britney Spears's, Christina Aguilera's, and
Okay.
Mandy Moore's.
Who is Mandy Moore again?
Come
That's like a
on,
name you don't even
dude.
hear.
And I'm
That's
with.
like a game you don't. That's a name you like. I haven't heard that name like since we were.
She's the
like,
most
middle
wholesome, beautiful one of them all.
Hey, no.
I think you know my answer.
I'm with
school.
I'm
Okay,
with
well,
Ryan
I
here.
gotta kill her then.
Ryan, can we change Mandy Moore for Jessica Simpson?
No. If he doesn't know Mandy Moore, do you know Jessica Simpson, Ryan? He's lost in thought.
He got cold.
What if we replace Jessica Simpson with the bass flute?
Oof.
Mary,
Whistle.
bass flute.
Mary
Pork
blow
softly,
kill.
the bass
Mary
flute.
flute. Ryan, you back?
Anymore?
I think he's seen her as having a seizure.
Yeah. So, do you know? Are
So
you a Jessica Simpson fan? Do you know who that is?
Hey, I'm gonna answer. Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So if Mandy Moore, she's the most wholesome, like girl next door.
No, but we
I'm gonna
don't
marry
know.
her.
We don't know. She could be a freak.
Okay, so I'm gonna marry her.
Okay.
I'm gonna pork Christina Aguilera, and I'm gonna kill Britney Spears.
Wait, but,
Whoa, why
but
kill
Chris-
Brittany? She's got problems, man.
Christina Aguilera back then or
Gotta go.
Christina Aguilera right now?
It's for the harvest.
Oh, back in the day.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
During her Maxim
Oof.
Maxim cover shoot that she did. That's
Yep.
the
Yeah.
Christina that I would
During
go for
Dirty?
sure. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm with you. I'm still changing Mandy Moore for Jessica Simpson.
Paco.
I would marry Mandy Moore, pork softly, Christina, and I would take care of Brittany's mental health issues.
Get her on
How
some
would you do
Prozac.
that?
Kill her.
How about you, Corey?
Cricket.
Corey, what's your opinion? What's your opinion over there? You got a PKM.
How do you do that to all of them? Just all three? four kilo? Yeah, just all three. Same time.
Marrying all
Yep.
all three of them. Are you a Mormon?
Moron.
Are you a moron?
Side question. This is actually, I was scrolling through and this one caught my eye. This is from Alika80 and it's actually kind of funny. Whose car in FD needs a hot boy makeover the
Ooh.
most? And what
Actually-
would you do to it?
That's actually a good thing. Hot boying your car with
Like,
Ryan
which
Litteral.
person needs it the most? I would say SS Camaro was probably the worst car ever in FD that would need the biggest hot boy over.
No, it's
Who-
not.
who do you got?
Mohan.
I was gonna say Cal
Hold
Mohan.
on, hold on.
I'm just gonna say,
Say
yeah,
it.
dude. That MX-5.
Oh
Yeah.
my
That
god.
needs to go. That needs
He's-
to go.
He's
later.
building an RX-8, isn't he?
He's back in the RX-8.
He's back in the Arc-Side. Okay.
Yeah.
That Mazda, whatever that thing is, get that thing the fuck out of here, dude.
I want someone to
that
prove
guy.
me wrong that MX-5s in Pro 1 are never going to work. I really want someone to just like go out there.
Just throw it away.
Yeah.
Throw it away.
Matt
Get it
Mike
out.
couldn't do
Get
it.
out.
Nobody
Dude,
can do
Kyle can drive. Like, Kyle is a good driver.
I know. I want to see
If
him
you
succeed
watch
so
Kyle
bad.
drive in Atlanta against Peter, he was giving Peter the beans.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave
straight
he
up.
gave him one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he was giving him his run for his money, and Kyle builds a sick rotary engine.
Yeah, dude.
That
That's
car is just ugly as all hell, man. Like, just like.
Well, it doesn't matter how
I don't
it does matter how it looks, but I mean, it just also doesn't drive very well.
no,
on
it
most
does
tracks.
matter what it looks. It matters a lot. That drifting.
Yeah, it does matter, of course. But at the end of the day, if you had an ugly car, but you're winning championships, whatever. But
Yeah, but I mean, like, imagine how badass would that be? S14 with a 3-rotor engine.
oh, it'd be sick.
Fuck,
Has that been done
insane.
in any
It
sort of pro
break,
level?
Break
Probably
the
not.
internet. Yeah, who's Danny George? It's like someone saying on YouTube.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions I've ever seen, Steven's not even. Would you rather hit 100 vape-sized Pat Goodens or one Pat Gooden-sized vape?
Sick.
Probably 100 vape-sized Pat Giddens.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't think, because you have to, like, regulate yourself on that. You can't just take it all at once, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good question. And we need to do like
That was the
all-star.
best question of the night. I like
I know. We need to do an all-star. That question just made me realize for like 2019, or it's probably too late for 2018, but like I want to go back and save all the best questions throughout the year. And,
Ryan.
And like have like the best question, get something special at the end of the year, because that's a pretty special question there, Steven. Really enjoyed that.
I have a question from Yogurt Slinger 420XX.
He's long time poster,
yeah.
first time
That's
poster.
a solid username there.
What's Pat Gooden's vape flavor?
More Pat Good questions. What's Pat Gooden's what?
Vape flavor.
Oh, what's his vape flavor?
Yeah.
Isn't that Marlboro Red?
I like that a lot. That's Pat. If you're gonna have a Pat Gooden signature flavor, it's just
like a mix. It's like a mixture between Marlboro Reds and Twisted Tea.
Let's say it'd be like a trifecta of Marlboro Red, Twisted Tea, and Dale Earnhardt's dick.
Woo!
Hey,
Hi Pat. Hi Donna. Donna's listening.
Hey, Donna.
Hello.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Ben Tranter says, "Do you miss the roof spoiler from your last setup?"
Yeah, I do. I'm going to put it back on.
Oh, sick.
There
missed
you
it.
go.
I missed it. I'm putting it back on. Don't
Because
worry.
of you, Ben. It's back
Yeah,
on.
all because of him. It's coming back.
Sick, Ben.
Eric
back,
Doc-X, another good buddy. Since you have amazing fabricator friends, what's the best way to become a professional automotive fabricator? How do you start fabricating in this world?
So
they
I
start
have
welding?
friends that are self-taught, and then I have some friends that went to school. There's a local fab school here called I think it's called the Fab School. I believe that's what it's called.
Okay.
But they got a lot of really good experience there, and then obviously working with the shop, like apprenticing underneath somebody else would probably be your best bet.
Yeah.
I'm
But I
no
mean,
master
can you just-
fabricator by any means, but
Yeah.
that's how they've done it. Yeah.
I'm not. I've only welded one thing to one thing at one point in my life, and it looked terrible, of course. But can you just buy a Harbor Freight welder and start throwing some ropes? Isn't that what you call it? No, laying some dimes.
Laying.
Can you just do that
I
in
mean,
your
I'm
garage?
sure. I'm sure you could.
Watch some
Sure you
YouTube videos. I wonder if that's the way to start. Just watch some YouTube. Like most things, buy a Harbor Freight thing and
That is not a
do
bad
some
start.
videos.
I
And then,
would recommend that instead. I personally recommend instead of going with a Harbor Freight welder, just get a Lincoln 110 weld pack.
Just a flux core, like
Yeah.
no gas.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's a very good 110. You can use it at home, but it's still a Lincoln, and they're not that expensive.
why don't you save it for money and get a Snap-on?
Snap-on makes welders?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
They
Nice,
do.
Sam.
Snap-on. Thanks for sending us 3 welders.
Yeah.
No,
Appreciate it.
Lincolns are great.
Yeah. I
feel
love
like,
my weld pack.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to learn how to weld. I'd like someone to teach me.
It's
You're supposed to look right at the
it's-
spark, right?
It's 300. It's like
Yeah.
$350.
Yeah, no. If you use a mask, they consider you weak. So,
I've heard that.
Definitely no mask.
Yep.
Keep your
It's
eyes
kind of like
open,
wearing It's like wearing eye protection and gloves when you're using an angle grinder. It's for wieners.
100%. 100%.
And you
I
can't
saw
wear a
another
shirt.
one of those photos today on the internet of like someone's iPro with like 1/4 of a cutoff wheel just like
I saw
jabbed
that.
through.
That was gnarly.
And of course in my early drift fun days, I definitely used cutoff wheels with no eye and no hands or no gloves, and I'm very grateful that that never happened to me because that's stupid as fuck. Kids, when you get your angle grinder out there, it's the best tool in the world. Just wear iPro, please. I don't want any of you guys to go blind.
Keep the shield. Keep the shield on the grinder.
No, shields are
And
for
gloves.
wieners.
And gloves.
Shields are for
Everybody
wieners,
has
but gloves and
for that, too.
iPro.
Yeah, 100%.
And ear pro, for that matter.
Sam, this is how old you're getting.
I know. Well, honestly, it
Nice
really
advice.
sucks to lose an eye and or go deaf. It's
Yeah, Sam is wearing eye protection for burnout videos now.
Yep.
That's how old he is.
No, you're not. Are you ready? Are you really?
No, is that true? Has that happened?
Yeah, we got you those heat wave clear.
Oh yeah, no,
the
that's
laser-
for Snap-on plants. Yeah, I got
laser
these
face.
cool wave glasses for when I'm
It's
doing
for
the factory stuff. Let's do a couple more questions. Paco, Corey, you got one?
What is it? Drift philosophy on YouTube. Ryan, what drivetrain should I put on my E30?
RB.
Isn't it crazy that they'll put a 2J now? Okay.
right.
Whatever you say, Ryan, they're going to do.
Well, let's see. Let's see. I think he got cold again.
He's thinking about it.
He's got cold feet. Let's see. Yeah, he's
No, he's really thinking about it.
he told us he had to go do Skype from his phone. His phone wasn't his computer wasn't ready, so we're gonna give him a pass this time. But it looks there you
am I
go.
gone?
He's back.
Still there?
You're here.
I'm either gonna
You're back.
go.
You're back.
I'm either gonna go SR
Good.
Yeah.
or I do an F22.
F22. What's that? The Honda
That's,
Yeah, S2000.
S2000, right? Isn't the
Yeah.
SR20 more torquey, low end torque than the Honda?
But the Honda revs super high. That's
Yeah.
a good engine. Yeah.
That Honda, my
That'd
mom's
be
got
cool.
the F20 in hers. She's got one of the original S2000s, and it's one of the most fun cars I've ever driven. I really wish I had more space for cars because S2000s. I've never driven a later gen S2000 with a 2.2 liter, but she's got the 2 liter that goes to 9,000 RPMs, and it's the most silly fun I've ever had, in a car that is
And
stock.
it doesn't make it faster. It just makes it sound cooler.
And it's
that's,
just ridiculous,
super
though,
rad.
to shift at between 5 and 8,000 RPMs all day long. It's just ridiculous to drive around a car like that.
Cruising at
Yeah,
6,000
it's just fun now.
RPMs.
It's cool.
It's such a good car though. If it's terrible that this is my buddy that I've worked with a couple times, Engineer and Explain, Jason Fensky. He's got my fucking garage. So he used to drive an STI. He has an S2000, and he just got a Model 3 Tesla, which I just test drove a Model 3 Tesla just before the show.
I saw that.
I was on the
You
waiting
literally
list.
did a 2-minute test drive. How was that?
It was like a 45-minute test drive. It was crazy. So the second they announced the Model 3 that day, I put down a $1,000 deposit. I was told there was a $35,000 Tesla. It's fuck yeah, I want that. Maybe I'll be rich in 2 years and can afford a $35,000 car. And by the time it's all fully priced out with the mid-range battery and rear-wheel drive, of course, because I'm an adult, it was $50,000, which still not going to buy because it's way too much money for a car, and I'm not going to pay that, nor can I at this moment. But they didn't have one of the $50,000 ones to test drive today. They only had the $75,000 dual motor fuck you model. And it was silly as all hell. There's a very nice woman helping me with the car, and she's just see this road right here? I want you to floor it. And I was being respectful up to this point. I'm I'm not going to just go all out in this car that I just got behind the wheel of 2 minutes ago. And that thing off the line is faster than anything I've ever felt in my life. I've been in FD Pro 1 cars and people flooring it off the line. Just the instant torque of one of those cars is silly. I could feel my face go back into my skull. It was ridiculous. I'm still not going to buy it because I don't have $70,000 to spend on a Tesla. And if I did have $70,000, I'd probably buy an M2 or an AMG Benz or something like that. But boy, when that gets more affordable and these cars that go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds are actually $35,000, it's going to be a real treat.
Yeah, man. I've never ridden in one. I know that they perform. I see all the YouTube videos, right? The guys taking them to the drag strips and beating everything in sight. So
yeah,
it's got to be something to it.
It's
And
ridiculous.
It's like that electric car coming out for FD this year, right? That Camaro, that dude Randall Waters is going to be driving that. I think it's Tesla powered, right?
I have no idea, man. We need to talk to Kevin Wells and others about that because I've heard rumors. I haven't heard anything confirmed. Corey, Paco, what do you know?
We have an appointment scheduled in a few weeks.
We're going to be talking on the show.
Oh, cool.
We're going to
I think
talk.
that's really interesting. I wonder how that's going to do.
You're
That's
talking-
I
gonna be
know.
cool.
Because we've been talking about it since we started the podcast about when is an electric motor going to make its debut and what will be the legality of the not the implication. It's about the implication, the implementation.
But yeah,
the
we have.
implementation of that motor, and will it be like an assist? Will it be full battery powered? I want to know the deets, man.
Yeah, we're gonna
And also,
have-
the biggest problem right now is heating. Like at Grid Life, there's dudes from a company called Mountain Pass Performance, and they had like a Model 3 out there that they were ripping. But the problem is, after a few laps, the car would go into limp mode because of just heat generated, and not that they don't have like any fans or anything to pull heat off. It's just more or less a big heat sink that's covered up by the body of the car, so they can't really cool it down, and because they're not made for hot lapping. I'm curious to see.
Well, but they also were like over boosting it, if you may.
Yeah,
So-
they were hacking the
Yeah.
car and doing weird shit with it.
They literally hack the car into making it
Isn't that
faster,
awesome?
that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're gonna have
Yeah.
Napoleon Motorsports pretty soon on the show.
I wonder if that's
all the
is that the
questions.
future of drifting too? Like, is there going to be an all electric league, and then there's going to be like the diehards are like motors only, but the electric ones are going to be faster and crazier and cooler, but everyone's going to be angry and they just want 2Js and RBs and LSs forever.
We'll see.
Man, I'm excited.
As
I'm
long as we
excited.
have
2019.
gasoline.
It's going to be rad. It's going to be crazy.
And speaking of electric and non-real, I know you. I mean, everybody knows you like Forza, and
Everybody.
you went on Grid Life's game night. You were one of the contestants on the drift. You guys had a drift competition using Formula Drift cars. Sam,
was kind
Corey,
of
you
a
guys
It
were
was
there.
more
competition.
like a party session.
Yeah.
I know that there was I think they tried to. I know there was points on the board, but I was definitely just the boys shredding out there.
Yep, so-
They did a competition for the like time attack stuff, and the drifting was you guys just crashing into each other a whole bunch, and Corey and I making up fake stories for what all the drivers' backgrounds were. It was good times though.
It was a good time. It was a good
Yeah.
time. It was definitely cool.
When are
It's
you
my
gonna
favorite SEMA party for sure?
when are you gonna
Yeah.
get serious about getting an actual sim, like wheel
Yeah, when are you gonna get
pedal?
serious finally?
Yeah, no more control, no more
I've
gamepad.
I've tried them. I need more time with them. Like I tried the one at Hoonigan, with their like crazy Assetto Corsa sim, and I just like couldn't get the hang of it. It was like way too hard. Like I felt bad. Like Hurt was like all hyped. Like yeah, man, my boy's gonna rip it right now. And it's like, I could not get around the track at all. So it definitely would take me some time to get used to it. But then I'm almost indifferent because now it's like, oh well, you got to get used to it. Like to me, it's like I can just hop on Forza and just like
Yeah.
rip, have fun.
It's definitely crazy how, like, I mean, Corey and I went on Ken Gushi's VR sim setup, and you know, Corey goes first. He's like, you know, he knows how to drift. Puts the helmet on, puts the car in reverse, go back.
Almost
like
threw up on
3 feet.
myself.
He almost throws up. He gets off the save. Like, all right, I can do this. But it's crazy. Like, I guess, like, definitely, like, not being able to feel the movement.
That's how I feel about Sims.
Especially-
if I don't have
especially
like
with the
I'm a
VR.
butt driver,
But
I
have
can't
you
feel my butt.
Yeah.
have you tried
I
VR?
feel you 100% on that. If I can't feel it on my butt. then
Have you tried VR drifting or sim?
I have not.
It was
I've
a
not
trip.
tried it.
It was a
It's
trip
nuts.
because
Is
like
it?
after a few laps, like so I'm not the best at sim. Like Brian, obviously, here's like our sim master, but I'm not very good at all. And I've tried drifting on his rig many times, and I just can't. But with the VR thing, it just made it easier to me. It just made it, even though I wasn't feeling it. It's like my body was automatically like I'm turning my head this way, so I guess like the G's are coming into that direction, and my mind was kind of like filling up the blanks. So give it a try if you have a chance to do a VR. Give it a try.
I will.
Sick.
All right. Any more hot slamming questions for our boy Ryan?
Actually, I just wanted to ask, and this is from me. Which one's your favorite FD car? Obviously, other than yours.
Favorite FD car?
Yeah.
Man, I think like James and Peter's S15s are just the jam.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the RTR Mustangs look pretty cool. They're with their wheelies and stuff. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Definitely those S15s are pretty sick, though. I think those are just like from a performance side, right?
Yeah.
I think
Well, I
that's
always say
pretty,
it on the show, and I really want to talk.
cool.
I really want to talk to the people that build it. Do you know? Did Bridges build those cars from scratch? Or they just help maintain them and campaign them? No,
I think the
James built
cars
it in
were
his garage,
built
didn't he?
Or in Poland, right? I think they were built in Poland or Ireland.
One was built in Ireland, one was built in Poland, and when they were like pretty much done, they shipped them to the States, and Bridges been maintaining them.
But they tune them and maintain them probably. I just really want to talk to them and find out why they move the way they move. And I've talked about it on the show many times. So the regulars are like, oh, here fucking Sam goes again. But it's like they move and they transition with such a snappy, ridiculous way. And I know that all the top level teams know what I'm talking about, but no one will tell me what it is because it's like the secret submarine warfare of like what's the thing in drifting right now. So I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I don't care who's at the top. I'm gonna find out what makes those cars good.
I mean, the dudes are just shredders too. You know?
Yeah,
like I'm
that
sure they
tell-
could drive
those guys
like
are-
that in like somebody else's car too.
Any
I
well-maintained
don't
car,
wanna put it
those
all just
guys.
on the car, you know.
Yeah, any well-maintained car, those two drivers are going to be top 10. But the fact that they have reliable, awesome cars makes them top 3.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
I just want to know. Oh, wrong song. Sorry.
All right. Any more for bro?
No, I think
we're
he
solid.
looks tired already. Look at him. He's,
Get the
I
fuck
am
to
tired.
bed.
he's got
What are
the
you doing?
sleepy eyes.
Thank you guys for having me on the
Yeah,
show.
buddy.
Paco, Sam, it was great. If you guys talk to Corey, tell him I said hello. And
You
I
animal.
guess we'll talk again soon.
He just woke
He's
up.
still looking up bulletproofing.
Yeah,
He's easily asleep. He's been sleeping
I'm
the
in-
whole
I'm
time.
in the
You're
diesel
type
market.
That you could sleep with your eyes open.
Hold on, go to Corey's camera again, Brian. Let me see that guy. He looks like a really
is
scared.
asleep.
He's like a scared turtle. He's just like,
hunker now. It's first
You wanna
one of
see
the
my
year,
Corey
boys. I
impression?
gotta get warmed up.
Woo!
That was awesome. We'll be seeing you, buddy. We'll be seeing you in Long Beach for sure.
All right, bud.
We're super stoked, man.
Come to Arizona one day.
Yeah.
We'll party.
Sounds good, guys. All right, guys.
All right.
Take it easy.
Hey,
Later,
have
bro.
a good night, buddy.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ryan.
too.
Later.
Later.
this is my
Is
Corey
he
impression.
is he gone? All right, Sam.
Yeah, he's gone.
I'm afraid to talk smack to him because he's one of the few people that talks it back to me, and it makes me
Good,
uncomfortable.
Sam. He'll punch you right in your little dinger.
That's rude.
It's not rude. It's facts,
No,
bud.
that's inappropriate. That's what Ryan said earlier. Remember, Sam?
Sam's meditating.
I've been
Sam's
good about
falling
dogging my
asleep
phone. I've
too.
got a
He's
work
doing what
test
Ryan
for-
was doing earlier. He has those long
Let him
seconds of.
meditate.
There's a video due right now, and I've got to work on this real quick. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a
What
second.
are you always doing on a video, Sam? You don't even know what you're doing. He
Shut
has
up.
No clue. And he moves to California to edit videos, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
I obviously know what the hell I'm doing, Corey.
What
do you know about
videos? I know, Sam. I'm on video right now, and you're not. So
Now
now
he
son
is.
of a bitch. Never mind. Never mind.
Here's the deal, Corey.
What?
All right. You may have worked with me on the first few videos.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
Seen
you
it.
know what? This Corey guy, he's good, but he's trouble. I'm
Ooh.
out of here.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to
And
wreck you.
That's the best decision I made in my life. I got far away from you, live in California now.
Yeah, pay.
That's a-
The best thing, moved away, paying 10 times as much for houses. You were out here.
Got no
Just
space for cars.
No space for cars.
And you're gonna get a $1,000 fine
yeah.
any second now.
No, exactly.
Oh,
so
you're
yeah, what's the deal
exhausted.
with that, Brian? I remember I've seen all these memes about like if you have a muffler, you're gonna get a $1,000 fine.
Do you have a loud exhaust, Sam?
Yeah.
Well,
You're
we better
gonna
be careful.
Yeah, they're getting anybody with a loud exhaust. But this is the impression I'm getting. I don't know the specifics behind it, but so far the impression is that if you're like, there's a video that's been shared around, and it's this cop pulled over this girl just because her car was loud. He pulled her over, gave her $1,000 fine. You can't reverse it. The second you are fined by the cop, you have to pay the $1,000 period, even if you show up to court and try to fight it.
Jesus.
The thing
good
is-
news is my exhaust system. I've got an APS system. It used to be this really cool company out of Australia,
Hey,
and
Brian, can you write this
it
down real
looks
quick? What kind of
pretty
exhaust?
stockish.
What kind of exhaust, Sam? We're gonna write this down. Go ahead. What is it? APS. All right,
They're
good.
not a company anymore. I don't think.
Guess what? We're gonna report you to the FBI, so you'll be arrested
Oh
in no time.
shit, dude!
Yep, so I just let.
It's
I
not
just
very.
emailed
It's not
them.
incredibly loud,
I
but
just
it
emailed
is
them.
Yeah.
definitely
All right, so-
3 times louder than stock.
Here's the thing, and this is like straight up. It has to be 95 or less decibel to be okay. Now, as many people know and understand, when you buy exhaust systems, many say non-California or California.
Yeah.
So California always, this is not a new thing, they always had a noise restriction.
Are you sure it's noise and not emission?
It's part of like the whole thing. Like they
Are you
had a,
sure?
they had
I
a
would look
particular
into that
restriction.
because it was an emissions restriction.
Yeah,
Actually.
but the
Yeah, there's tons of California certifications you need. And also, our buddy Kano Asada in the YouTube chat just says the new California law says their exhaust can be 95 decibels. That's loud as fuck, which it definitely is. Like 95 is a lot. Like when we were shredding Vaughn's car at the ring for Drift King of the Ring, like I think that they had noise rules, and I think it was probably like 95, and I feel like we still were below that a lot of the time.
But the point is, like, I mean, so California already had, I mean, it's already been limited for the longest time. I mean, I feel for the last 20 years, California already had like very strict exhaust rules.
Yeah,
not
you
only
just get away with it.
Yeah, not only decibels, but like say like emissions and all that.
I don't know if it was decibel.
But they're
though.
just cracking down on the laws that already
The
exist.
thing
more or
is,
less.
and here's one of the things that a lot of people's not understanding. All this bullshit is started because of the takeovers, the street takeovers. All these people like
doing the
taking
side, that's not called sideshow.
taking
What do you call
over
it?
taking over a whole intersection and doing donuts and you know just running traffic. So this is like literally like the police is like, you know what? All right, we're just gonna go after everybody. What's the best way of doing it? Let's just go on the decibel because the decibel limit is very easy to play with. It's very easy to. Oh,
Even before hearing about this new crackdown, anytime there's a cop going the other direction on the road, I just throw my car in neutral because I don't want to hear.
Might
Because
as well.
it's not obnoxiously loud, but it's still loud.
Hey, Brian, did
Yeah.
you write that down too?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so I want to submit
Stop.
that to the
put
FBI.
car on neutral.
I got to
Okay,
record
cool,
it.
Thanks.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, it's annoying. A lot of people. One of the things like a lot of people don't use California exhausts on their cars in California, or they just like they modify past what the law is being enacted for a long time. But at the end of the day, if you want to blame somebody, blame all these stupid people who's like fucking up in the streets and ruining it for everybody. Because it seems like everybody is like, oh, they're hating us racers. Like, no, they're hating all these people who's just like ruining it for everybody, like blocking traffic, doing donuts in an intersection. Then like all these people's like like filming and then they're getting hit by the car
Sam, did you do any of this? Brian,
Yes.
get ready to write this down.
while
Okay,
vaping.
thanks. Got it. Cool.
Speaking of California compliant, good segue. Good buddy Chris from AM Intakes set my dad up right. My dad has a AM intake on a California compliant AM intake on his BRZ and his Subaru Baja. He's got the dorkiest, craziest Baja I've ever seen. He's
I love
more
it.
or less got a Baja STI. Yeah, of course you love it because Bajas are weirdo cars.
Yep.
But yeah, Chris helped me out with some Christmas presents from my dad, or Hanukkah for my dad, excuse me, and got some AM intakes on that car. So
Thanks, AM.
Chris. You're welcome, Dad. Oh, and a strut tower brace. You got a cool front strut tower brace, and that's how you know he's good. Those are good for 5 to 10 ponies. No prob. Remember when those were the coolest thing? You had to have it. That was like the number 2 mod. You got your intake, you got your muffler, and then you got a strut tower brace.
It was a sign of legitness.
Yeah.
Oh,
if those strut towers weren't braced,
this guy
I just pictured anytime you go around a corner and your strut towers is like boing. You gotta.
But as soon as you put that thing, is hard as a rock. That's also like pretty much like you're signaling that you do race.
And it's one of those things
you
that,
care
like,
about structural integrity.
And it's seen through the glass. And you have the rear strut tower
on
and a hatch.
my Ford Probe GT, if I recall, and I feel like I could definitely tell the difference when I put that on.
Dude, I used to feel more horsepower after pulling out of the car wash.
Oh yeah, and I got a weighted shift knob. Did you ever do that?
Oh yeah.
Weighted shift knob, definitely faster shifts.
Fucking power shifting like a mofo.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see that video going around that was a dude like in a newer Civic Type R, the drag strip, and he tries to launch with his e-brake up, and then the brake doesn't go down when he drops the clutch and dumps it, and it's the most silly thing.
Sam, do you have a weighted shift knob in your Subaru now?
No, I've got stock shift now.
Brian, can you write that
I'm
down?
slowly trying to revert that car as back to stock as possible.
You know what's-
Minus the external wastegate, because that's awesome, and my BC coilovers. And also, this is not, even though this is like the time of the show to blow our sponsors, Nexen Tire on the Subaru. I had some really cheap bad tires on there previously, not going to mention the brand. They were a brand that pulled out of FD, though, so fuck you if you pull out of FD, just kidding. But they, just having high-performance tires in the car, I've got the Sir 4Gs right now on my Subaru. It changes the entire feel of the car, so I'm super pumped on that. Super pumped on the BC coilovers. But other than that, I'm just trying to change my car pretty much stock again.
Illegal suspension, illegal
especially
tires,
height, because
tires,
California.
illegal exhaust,
Legal
heavy
brake
weighted
pads.
shift knob.
You know.
Okay.
Are you writing this down again?
Yeah. No, Sam. No. I was just repeating it so I remembered when I buy my Subaru.
Please stop writing this down.
Yeah.
Check. I got it. It's okay.
Good.
So Sam, we'll see you in prison next week. Paco, Brian,
guys.
With everything that I've just said, I probably end up in California jail.
Yeah, you would, and that's not very cool. California jail, Sam.
All right, 2019.
Yeah.
What's
We have
Driftcast?
plans.
What are we doing better? What are we? I feel like just 2018 beginning, we're apologizing for like bad sound issues. I think we've got most of that fixed. We've gotten Skype pretty dialed. What are we? How is the show going to be cool in 2019? How are we better?
So we're gonna have magic tricks.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
Paco's
have
gonna be doing a segment at the end of the show, every show, where he does magic
tricks. We're gonna have a trampoline in the background.
Trampoline Girls. The Man Show did that, if you recall.
Yep. No, but we're 2019. We're definitely planning good changes, more content, more Driftcast, more Corey, more Sam, more big balls. Hopefully, more
His
English.
balls are even bigger this year. Have you seen those things,
Dude?
I'm afraid of looking.
I have to modify.
We
my
had to
pants
lift him
now.
out of this. We had to lift him off the toilet earlier because he couldn't do it himself. And you know what the worst part is they were dangling in the water, so we had to dab him up with a towel. Yeah, it was the worst.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's gross.
Do you know
Thanks,
what?
guys.
Do you
I
know
appreciate it.
Hey, so it was like wiping little baby balls actually with Brian. So hopefully he recovered from that. But I would like to know what these guys want. You know, right now, starting off 2019, getting the first show out of the way, getting the dust off the wagon here.
As they say.
As they say, I just kind of threw that out there because I was thinking of Oregon Trail, the old video game.
You haven't played a lot of Red Dead?
The Century.
You know, what do you guys like
Not
to
quite.
see? We have the ability to obviously do YouTube content. If it is video content, what type of content would you like to see? If it's
that's a good question.
content,
Throw it out to the fans.
if it's
what do you want us to
content
do?
you would like to see on the Driftcast, if you'd like to see it being structured specifically, how would you guys like for us to develop the show? Because once again, we're doing this for you guys. We do it because we're very passionate about the sport of drifting. But you know, at the end of the day, we're here to feed you guys with what you guys want. You know, we have the ability to contact a lot of drivers. We're actually looking to expand and reach out to a lot of the drivers in Europe that are coming over for Pro 1 and Pro 2. We have a lot of resources and a lot of tools, but what is it that you guys want to hear and see? It's not limited just to podcasts. It could be to video. It could be to the website. It could be to anything. Throw out any really wild ideas or any simple ideas, like I said, from structure to content. But let's create some stuff that you guys want, because that's
what's some more cars that Paco should buy? You know,
How many more hentai should I get?
how many more hentai should he get?
Yeah.
Always. Paco's already got so as many cars as he has. You should see his hentai pillow room. You know those pillows that are just like shaped like regular pillows, but they have
body
girls
pillow.
on them?
No, it's a body pillow.
Yeah, he's got a lot of those.
Yeah.
and
Have
he
both
needs some
two
more.
sides. Yeah. Well, you can never
I'm
have.
getting
You can never have
Paco.
too many. Yeah.
Paco. Pull off your headphones for a sec.
All right.
It's all right, Corey. It's a custom order, but it's coming in really soon. I got him a Pat Gooden hentai pillow.
Nice.
So it's a Pat Gooden's body on a pillow, and it's really good looking.
Can I put on my headphones now?
Wait a second.
Yep.
What
No.
picture? What picture?
Take 'em up.
What picture is it of Pat?
I'll send it to you later, but it's pretty risque.
Okay, just text.
See,
it to
one
me.
thing Pat keeps on sending me all these really messed up photos of him. You know,
Is it a
it's
picture?
how he-
Is it a picture of the bee hole or the sea hole?
I don't want to talk about it.
What are you, Paco? You're not supposed to be listening, and you're freaking laughing.
I can hear you.
Oh
You're
my
sitting in front of me,
God.
Corey.
I was whispering, and you were
Maybe that is
eavesdropping.
holy shit. Okay,
Paco
so we're
was
talking one
eavesdropping
thing that
on
I
our
know.
conversation.
One thing I know I want to do for 2019 is we got to get more merch. We got to get better merch.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
Pat Gooden body pillows.
Pat Gooden body pillows. It's happening.
Holy shit! All
Well,
right,
hey, do you
I mean-
remember? I'm gonna throw back. Do you remember wrestling buddies? Like they're.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
should
no,
do
that would
Formula
be-
Drift
that
wrestling
Corey.
buddies. What?
You're a
Sam?
merch genius. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Not do it, but let's make merchandise with wrestling buddies.
No, let's not have sex with each other.
Well,
Let's make
something-
merchandise.
No, let's not hook up.
Something you guys probably saw last year, and we're pushing for. Let's see if Brian can get us a little. There you go.
Nice. Look at me. Look at you.
So there's
Why aren't I on there?
yes. Well, that's
Oh,
the whole thing.
Did
so
you not tell
Why
Sam yet?
aren't
Hey,
I
did you
on
not
there?
tell Sam yet?
oh shit, I haven't.
Sam,
told
we already told the FBI about your cars. They're coming to pick you up, so we had to make it just picture me and Paco. So
Why isn't my car on there?
because you're already getting arrested, we planned this. We planned it this way.
Bullshit.
So I can't believe Paco didn't tell you. He said he was going to tell you last week. But
First of all, Paco's not nearly fat enough in his anime picture.
I lost a lot of weight, Sam. Well, in your anime picture, you look very buff.
I know. I'm not nearly that buff anymore. Nor was I ever.
Yeah,
And
the
Corey. I don't even want to get started with Corey.
go ahead, get started, Sam, because I'll suplex you right through your table, four-eyed monster.
Yeah,
Let me-
I'm wearing glasses because I was fighting a sick eye infection over the holidays.
That's what you get.
Cool.
That's what you get for
So-
kissing butthole.
There's
Corey and I were doing a
There's
69
Sam.
cartwheel situation,
look at that
and
because this is Sam like 3 years ago.
Look at what a stud. See right there. That's when
He's
I
wearing
remember.
his-
I
he's
remember
got
that
his red
Sam.
shoes.
I remember that Sam. That Sam was a stud. I don't
the
know what
bulge
happened to
isn't right, but it's close.
he should be a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Also, my hair is pretty much white now. so
Every time we used to go to,
that's
here's a
changed.
fun fact about Sam. Every time we used to go to a drift event, I used to watch Sam put on his racing shoes and drop a potato in his underwear. But the best thing is the potato would always fall to the back, so it looks like he shit his pants. And I had always have to remind him, like, Sam, you got to move the potato to the front. He'd even know it. So
Yeah, I didn't
that's a
even know
fun
what I was
fact
doing.
about Sam.
Paco, let's blow up who drew these again? 'Cause these are
Yeah.
awesome.
So these were made by Lulu VZ. It's an artist from Venezuela, I believe. She's an anime artist. So thank you,
And
Lulu.
she's gonna draw for us the Pat Gooden body pillow.
Yeah, so she's gonna draw the Pat Gooden body pillow, front
Please.
and back.
Front
Yeah.
and back, obviously.
This is gonna
Yeah.
be. This is gonna be a little. This is gonna be a very.
Look at
limited
that one.
edition
Isn't
of-
that cute?
Will you guys let me sell the pillow already without
All right,
interrupting?
Sell
Yeah,
the pillow.
All right, you guys. Hey guys, the Pat Ginn body pillow is going to be a very limited run of the most comfortable pillows you have ever laid eyes on.
I don't know how much of a market there's gonna be. There can't be more than like 10. Hey, remember when I have a drift car?
We're making 8 pillows, Sam. So we have 10 people hungry for it.
And the best part is we're gonna make Pat Gooden's likeness. We're not gonna tell him about it, and we're not gonna give him any of the money. We're just
This
gonna make
pillow-
it. We're gonna.
The pillow is going to be soft in some areas and very firm in others. It's going to come with a
Yeah.
very, very bipolar personality, where it may want to cuddle, it may not. It's also going to have a hint smell of Marlboro Red cigarettes.
Yeah, and it's also gonna have a cup holder for White Claw.
For White Claw. Is
And-
it the thin one?
Yep,
Yeah.
and the
I can't promise that
and
actually.
the
I'd
harder,
like it to, but
and
we'll
the
see what
harder
that
you
costs.
squeeze it, the louder it farts. For only $899,
That's a deal.
you'll get this 3-foot tall Pat Gooden body pillow. It's made for
And
midgets.
It's gonna have
and it's
real
a way
punchable
more
teeth.
affordable. So if we make it, if we make it 3-foot tall, isn't every pillow a body pillow depending on your size?
I think it's 3 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 feet.
So So yeah, it's not unlimited too, but it's a midget-sized Pat Gooden body pillow. All right. So if you're full-size male like myself, if you're a
There's
big
got to
male-
be a ton of custom hentai body pillow makers.
Oh, and
out
the other
there,
thing too,
right?
about this Pat Gun body pillow that I didn't tell anybody yet. I didn't tell you guys yet. But the mouth is actually a mouth that's open and it's real, and you can breastfeed it.
Wow. Pat's gonna love it.
So I think the customers are gonna love it. So right now you can order $8.99 right now on MaximumDriftcast.com.
Corey's joking about that. I'm gonna authentically look into making these because I will be. I don't know. Maybe just I'll quit the show and quit making videos and all that. Once I see someone walking around at like FD or Irwindale this year with a Pat Gooden body pillow, like what else could we do at that point?
Yeah, it would be literally like a full-size voodoo doll is what it's going to eventually turn into with all these body pillows. But we'll leave it up to you guys to decide what you want to do with it. I like cuddling mine when need be, but for $8.99 you're not going to find a better deal.
So you can get them like seasonal, like a different pillow. They'll ship you a new one. For
Actually,
every
the clothes
season
are
or something.
changeable. So you
Well,
can
see, like
change
that's
it.
that's the thing. Like depending on which side, you have like winter Pat and summer Pat.
Yeah.
So
I like Brian's
the-
idea. It's like one of those box subscribe things. Like every month we send you a Pat Gooden pillow.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna make it super hard to cancel.
It's like
So
the
you just
summer,
get
the
your
summer
bunch.
edition
Once-
has like the farmer's tan and everything going on too.
Yeah.
So.
Once we get your credit card, like you're in
that's
trouble. You're
rude.
gonna
You guys
get
are
a
in
Pat
bad
Gooden
shape.
pillow
So,
every month for the rest
the
of your life.
address is gonna be patbox.com.
Patbox.
Patbox.com.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a
And,
big
and,
success.
and
It's
they're
gonna
just
be
not going to
huge.
stop coming. We're not going to stop using your credit card. There is no canceling.
No.
And,
And
just, your
the
house
terms
is
and
just gonna be
agreement-
I
littered.
mean, nobody's
terms
gonna
with-
want to cancel this.
No, because
Yeah.
in the small print terms and agreement, we can actually do whatever we want with your credit card once we get it.
Yeah,
So-
no one reads that shit anyway.
Yeah,
So
don't read the small print because all it's going to say is you just forfeited a couple bones, brother.
you just forfeited a couple bones. Enjoy your pillow house made out of Pat Gooden.
Big changes for
Yeah,
2019.
so, anyways, guys,
2019.
you want to send us
Suck it.
off?
But in all
Sam,
seriousness, tell us what else you guys would like to see and hear in addition to
We'll
Pat
make a
Gooden and
post.
body pillows.
We'll make a post in our group.
Yeah.
So if you haven't joined the Maximum Driftcast group or discussion board on Facebook, please do. And we'll also make a post on Instagram where you guys could please submit your ideas and proposals on what we should be doing. Obviously, we have some
Because we're out of ideas. We
Yep.
got nothing.
Yep. And so we also have some new people we're going to be working with. We'll probably be talking about next episode. But thanks again, guys. First one of 2019. Get it out of the way with our boy Ryan Litteral. We have a lot more exciting news. Obviously, looking
Literally
for more
the
stuff
first
in the
episode
future.
of 2019.
So we'll see you guys then.
Well, and before we go, thank our Patreon.
Oh my God, the Patreons! Thank
Guys.
you, Patreon. You guys.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. 2019 Patreon. You guys are going to be in for some more treats. You are very special boys and girls, and we hope that you guys stay with us for the year. And we hope we get some more new ones because we need to make the show keep going. So we appreciate it. If you like the show, give us $1. If you don't like the show, take $1.
If you
It's
like
that
the
simple.
show, buy a T-shirt. If you like the show, buy a keychain. We have a bunch
Buy
of
a
merchandise
pack of
still on
Bipel, but
MaximumDriftcast. Sam, MaximumDriftcast.com. Pick up some merch if you guys do. We really appreciate it. Keeps the show going. But until then, 2019 just started. FD's only 3 months away. A bunch of new things are starting up in the drifting world. We're here to tell you about it. So we'll see you guys next week here on Maximum
Maximum
Driftcast.
Driftcast. Thanks, Brian.
See you
Thanks,
next-
Sam.
Peace out.
Next
See you guys
Tuesday.
later.
Thanks, Corey. Guys, have a good night. Adios.